Well, hello, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight?
Fair enough. How are you, Corey?
All right, good. I have been looking forward to the show all week. We have a special guest. Maxfield Von Priestley is with us. How are you doing today, Max?
Cheers, man. Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing well. I'm extremely excited to talk about all the stuff with people who are extremely like-minded and who are also well-versed and knowledgeable on all these topics. So, and excited to be introduced to a new chat and everything. Sounds like you guys are already on fire tonight. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we're super stoked. You and I just found each other on Twitter, started talking, comparing notes, and you were gracious enough to come on. So thanks for that. And thanks for working with us like over the weeks to put together the show. So you brought up some really great points that I cannot wait to get to. So awesome, dude. All right, let's move on to Nathan, a man of Manethrin. Thanks for coming on tonight. How are you doing? I understand that you have a whole bottle of very beautiful small batch whiskey with you tonight.
Gotta love the brown water, man. Did I just see OBG 70 as Leandrin Sedai in that preview?
Yes, you did.
Okay, that is so brilliant. I'm good. I'll see you guys later.
All right. Yeah, don't worry, Nathan. I will find a way to work you into that intro as well. And if I can ever,
I've got my eyes on Alana. She's fabulous.
And if I can ever find a picture of Zach's, I'm going to put him in there too. But he's in some undisclosed location in the Great White North. How are you doing, Zach's? What's going on, man?
I'm on a trucking convoy across Canada. Not really, but I'm cheering for them.
Truckers. Hail the truckers. Hail the truckers.
Hail the truckers.
I'm pulling for them. I'm doing well. It's we got a blizzard here today, of course. We've got 8 feet of snow, and it's minus 30. What could be better?
Jeez.
Yeah. Come to Canada, guys.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah, I'll fire up my truck and head that way.
Bring a shovel.
Speaking of firing up the truck, Mike, OBG 70, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Well,
Nice.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oh, there we go. You could clip that and put that picture in over Leandrin Sedai there now.
I'm not sure if Peter I don't think Peter Dinklage is going to watch this live stream. That's Oh, Mike, that was cool. He hit that beautiful from all of us. I knew that he got it. I just didn't know how cool it was going to be. I think I might need one of those. So I want to shout out to people in the chat tonight. Hail to Punk Waddle for being one of our mods. Look who we got here. Lasso with Truth. How you doing, son of Jockster? This is fantastic. Let me go ahead and get back to the start of this. Let me take a look at Punk Waddle is, of course, one of my channel members. William 101. Hail to you, sir, a Wolf brother. Hail to you, Paul Wolfley. Thanks for shouting out the convoy. It's great to see all you guys back in yet another chat. This is absolutely fantastic. I'm scanning this real quick to make sure. Okay. Well, we've got a bunch of things to get to tonight. And I know Mike, OBG70, and I, we talked earlier in the week about the Brandon Sanderson comments. So do we want to pull those up on screen and take a look at it? And the funny thing about this is that this is the second time that Sanderson has said the exact same things, only this time he was even more specific as to what it was that he didn't like, which is pretty wild when you think about it. So, Mike, you did a video on this. I did a video when this first came out, and this is the video I got 30,000 views on, was people telling me that Brandon Sanderson never said one critical thing about the Wheel of Time. Well, here we are, and he said it again.
Yeah, there's this really strange rumor going around that he's under some sort of an NDA, but he's also on the record in one of his podcasts saying absolutely not. He's free to say whatever he wants. So it's kind of half a dozen of one, half a dozen of the other, because 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, because he's not as critical as I would like him to be. So kind of lets it go, you know?
All that being said, the fact that he doubled down in his comment about Rafe Judkins, who, Max, you're probably not watching Wheel of Time, and there's a character that is the epitome of true wolf male energy by the name of Perrin. And what they did in, of course, Amazon, was to not make him masculine at all, and to give him a wife he never had. And then because of his masculine energy, he accidentally kills his wife and then spends the entire first season moping around, not looking anything like the character from the books. So Sanderson talked about plank of gender neutral wood. And Sanderson commented on this back in November. And he was recently on a podcast a week or two ago where he doubled down on those statements and said this was not the Perrin he knew from the books. But one thing he did say, and Mike, this is directed at you, is how he talked about how well Egwene and Nynaeve were treated, although he hated the finale. Now, Nathan, jump in there. You guys, anybody, Zax, I know the guy has to backpedal.
Whoa. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, that'll
Jumped
work.
in.
That'll work.
Well, first of all, to lay it out for Max better, they took a character, they wanted to have representation, so they made him black. So that's whatever, that's fine. But then what they did was they made him unemployed, and then they had him kill his wife. That's the representation they gave black people on the show. And then he spent the rest of the show crying and wouldn't defend himself or stand up for his friends.
It's true.
What a great representation. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, normally he would be like the key to everything, or so, you know, they would want to promote him as a protagonist, but it sounds like they just kind of threw him through the mud. And now granted, I do understand that I have not watched the show, so I can't be too critical, of course, but is it the same type of energy that you guys feel white straight males are receiving? Is it that same type of treatment with that character?
I think so. And I think it's kind of progressed where it doesn't matter what your race is if you're a man, you know? And in this case, Perrin was part of 3 young men from a small village at the edge of the world. And all 3 of them actually have a very big, important part to play in what
each a leg of the tripod.
History. Yes. Yes. And Perrin represents the masculine wolf energy. You have another character by the name of Matt, who they did just as dirty as Perrin, because Matt was supposed to be the trickster archetype, you know, and very wily, very sly, risk taker. Instead, they turn him into a degenerate who sleeps with women, steals their jewelry so that he can gamble. And it's like, wow, not one male archetype is there. Yeah. So,
and but
he loved his sister for 2 episodes.
Say the last one.
So, but he loved his sisters for 2 episodes and then forgot about him the rest of the way.
Oh yeah, well they gave him up. Everybody has a bad dad backstory, pretty much, or
they all have bad dads.
Yeah, and even a character that didn't exist in the books that was played a warder, which is the equivalent of kind of Max like a ranger, a personal ranger to a female magician in this world. They actually took, this is an 8-episode season. They spent an episode and a half on a character that didn't exist in the books being in a place where he didn't belong because it was the showrunner's boyfriend. And it's just all of this is to get to answer your question. Yes, it is because they're a male, and every woman in the show is, of course, an overpowered Mary Sue. The women don't need to learn how to do anything. The women are portraying as being powerful by not being feminine at all, and by being domineering and quite catty, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that is the case, because there have been women that have throughout history have been written so well and with strong characteristics that a lot of people don't find interesting today. Like, I feel like a lot of women in these stories have showed strong characteristics such as like compassion or patience or some type of empathy that a lot of male characters tend to not show because they're more gruff, stoic, and these are just kind of some of the archetypes. But now they're portraying females with the characteristics of male heroes, which makes it seem kind of demeaning to the female characters, right? Because they have no agency of their own. So it's sad to hear that is being done here in the Wheel of Time as well, because it just seems like it's copy paste, from one series to the next. Yeah,
and it is. I mean, it's now become to the point where before the show is even announced, we know what changes they're going to make to subvert our expectations. And I think for a lot of us, our expectations stopped being subverted about 4 years ago, and now we're just annoyed. But I think that annoyance is kind of crumbling to, I still got the old stuff. I mean, I think a lot more people are just like, screw it, I'm going to read the book. I'm going to watch old Star Trek. I'm going to watch old Doctor Who. Was there anything else that Mike or Zax? I know you guys had put something out there for the season 2 synopsis, and that was on Reddit. Did you guys want to talk about that, or how do you feel?
Sure. You want to pull it up, or I have it pulled up as well? I can share it either way.
Okay. Let's go. I'll allow Zax to do his voodoo.
I don't have the link.
I got it. I'm getting it. There we go.
It's there in the.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me zoom in quite a bit here.
Yep.
How's that? That looks good. Yeah.
So, Mike, go ahead and tell us. Go ahead and read the synopsis.
So, first of all, this is actually not. This is nothing more than rumor. It's take it with a bucket load of salt type of stuff. We don't know for sure. It did pop up on Reddit, and people like attention on Reddit, so you never know. So it talks about season 1 tested our core characters and their relationships to each other along their journey to the eye of the world. It was a coming-of-age story in the most dramatic of circumstances. Season 2 will focus on the next stage of life, finding a place for yourself within the world. Now, this is all interesting so far because it's talking about, the world, and it's saying it's big and fast and all these things happening. But then every one of our characters will find themselves isolated from the others at some point in the season and be forced to reckon with the darkest sides of themselves. So now we're going to get a lot of Piran having to reckon with his wolf side, and we're going to have Matt having to reckon with his, I don't know what, banditry or thievery or womanizery or whatever the hell he's going to have. And then Rand, I don't know, like that he can channel, that he's going to go insane. I don't know. And then while the season 1 traverse, I'm trying to highlight this and realize it's an image, so you can laugh at me. While season 1 of the Wheel of Time traversed geographic locations, season 2 will be more grounded in unique locations for longer stretches of time, meaning the characters are going to stay put.
It's going to be smaller. It's going to be smaller world again.
Smaller. Yep. And I already feel it's really small. Do you guys not feel that way? I mean, I feel like they don't. I'm not got
closet.
Yeah, I have not felt that the world is vast at all in the first season.
No, I mean, like I mentioned before, I really do think they pissed away a lot of their $80 million budget. And Max, they got $80 million to do one season of television, and it looks worse than stuff that you would have seen on sci-fi like 4 or 5 years ago. And this is an epic fantasy tale from Robert Jordan. It's a 15-book series. It should be a cash cow with a great characters. You know, the books write the screenplays themselves. If we were in a normal timeline, if everything didn't need to run through the ideological identity politics, neo-Marxist, third wave feminism sifter, you know, and then you get applesauce on the other side as opposed to filet mignon, which is what really a lot of good fantasy is, you know?
So may I ask them, because, you know, $80 million, it's an incredible budget. And I remember hearing about Wheel of Time when I was in college, you know, friends in our little Tolkien group and C.S. Lewis group that we were reading really loved Wheel of Time.
Nerds.
Oh yeah, right. Bunch of nerds. So we were, it's all right. And so yeah, I remember hearing about this in like 2011, 2012. So, and now that they're actually making it with a budget of $80 million, where do you guys think that going? Is it just going into the pockets of the producers, or because it's or are they paying these CGI specialists, if you want to call them that, with just no time, or there's no passion? Where do you think that budget is going?
Zach,
Well, I
you go
think-
first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I can say part of it is going to Rosamund Pike, and they want to secure that investment because her character is not an important part of the story, but she's the biggest star on the show. So they're actually rewriting season 2 because they don't want to sideline Rosamund Pike, and that's what the writer and showrunner has said. That's not rumor. That's what he's saying he's going to do, and they've already sidelined enough of the main characters in the first season to give her more spotlight that they spent a lot of money on making her a star. And she's a good actress, but she's not the most important part of the show. And they could have learned from Game of Thrones, which is where they want to be, with Ned Stark, Sean Bean, big star, but they sidelined the hell out of him.
True.
Go ahead, Mike. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. What is your thoughts on that?
I honestly am being a bit cynical here, and I think that they are overcharging for everything so that their team players make more money. You know, why build one when you can build two at twice the price? It's kind of like that. It's like, okay, all of our friends here that we've hired because they're all on team, and I don't want to be too rude.
Progressive team.
Yeah,
progressive.
sure. And then what we're going to do is, you know, how much do you want to do that scene? You only want $1.5 million? No, man. We're going to do $4 million. There you go. Invite me on your yacht party, you know? Yeah. And I think it's like that. I think a lot of it's just going, you know, they're flush with cash. It's like Amazon money, $1 trillion company. Let's do this. And Rosamund Pike. Sure.
It's true. And look at what Bezos just did. I mean, he made that wall trophy thing. And how much money do you think that costs? I mean, was that like $500,000? I mean, who knows? And then
he has that money under the seats of his car. I mean,
I know he blows that on hats, you know, and he doesn't wear hats, you know. So, Nathan, what do you think? What is your assessment? What do you think the money went season 1?
Oh, I can stop sharing.
They're definitely getting upcharged at Walmart quality for sure. The other thing that I think, you know, obviously the Rosamund Pike thing, but I think a large portion of the expenses that nobody is noticing is that they spent a whole bunch of money, I think, on behind the scenes stuff that help build up the story and the world building in Wheel of Time that have nothing to do with the show. And so they've got, you know, all that, you know, whatever the, you know, you pause the episode on Amazon's website and then you click, oh, I can watch this video to see what Manetheren or see what the one power is. And then they tell a little animated short about what those things are. And then you go back to watching the show and you find out that had nothing to do with the show at all.
Yeah.
And you've contradicted it all. So a lot of it, I think, went to that too.
you know, what we're seeing is, so with Wheel of Time, Max, they said this isn't actually what happened in the books, because the books are actually in a world where reincarnation and rebirth, it happens in cycles. So the same people come back in the same, you know, brand new, born again, the same problems keep coming up, and then they react to them essentially through a series of learned lifetimes. That's a really broad statement on Wheel of Time, but it's fairly accurate. So but the problem is what the showrunner wanted to do, because agenda was first, ideology was first. It couldn't match up with the characters that were written by the author Robert Jordan. So they came up with this story of, well, it's not the characters and story you know from the book. It's an alternate take on that maybe could happen the next time these people are reborn. So it's identity theft. And what's curious about this is when you listen to what they're saying about Halo, and I think we can transition into that now, is they're saying, well, this isn't canon. This isn't the Halo universe, you know. This isn't from the video games. This is an alternate universe Halo. So that to me sounds like identity theft again, and it sounds like if the story is so different than the original source material, then what is it? And I'm going to leave that open for anybody to comment on that regarding Halo. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
They can't hear Max, guys. They can't hear Max.
I can hear him.
I can hear him too, but chat saying they
Yeah,
can't hear him.
I can hear him, but
Okay. Max, I'm gonna drop you out. Can you come back in?
Can you give me a 1 if you can hear me, chat?
Yeah, I can. Okay.
yeah, 2 for me. 2 for me.
Hey, Max, come back in. Is that okay? Sorry, man. No. It's not you. It's Restream, probably. Yeah. All right. Max is going to come back. So while Max is out, and Max was saying some great points, this is why I was excited to do this show this week. Was Max has some really great perspectives on things, and that's
Thanks,
why
chat.
I think thanks a lot, guys. But it's really cool to work with a bunch of people, and we don't all think the same things. We have very strong opinions, but we're willing to listen to one another. I think what unites all of us in fandom is that we want to see the stories that we love as told by much more talented creators, actually told moderately faithfully, and we're not seeing that. We're just not, whether it's Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, The Wheel of Time, and I'm afraid to say Amazon's Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
We
All
should.
right. Hey. Yeah.
We got Paul Wolfley super chat there,
Yep.
which we can do before we move on from Wheel of Time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hail to you, Paul Wolfley. I am going to give you something out of the bag of tricks.
And you have my bow.
And my axe.
Hail to you, Paul Wolfley. It's a $5 super chat. Says, Wheel of Time. Might want to lower the level on that a little bit. Wheel of Time writing staff was bloated. Watched the behind the scenes. They hired every woke writer in town, and they all looked like they needed special water. Oh man, when Perrier just won't do, you need to get that extra special pronoun water. Boy, we could make a lot of money doing that, just bottling up tap water. Hail to you, Paul Wolfley. Thank you so much for always showing up and being part of this chat.
Son of a bitch.
And we are back. No thanks to Paramount, who did not like us looking at the show, which I am mystified by. I thought any publicity was good publicity, but apparently when you make woke trash like Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, and now let's be honest, Halo, the last thing you want people to do is talk about it. They just want them to consume content. It's so fantastic. Thank you all, so many of you people who followed us over through these travails. And while we were working on the back end here, a lot of bourbon was poured. We're now ready to shift into the conversation a little further. So
I have this Halo trailer pulled up here. Can I share the screen, please?
Yeah. You can. Yeah, Mike, it was so great to have you this week. I know you have to go. Don't call us. We'll call
Corey's
you.
going to be sipping his bourbon through a straw out of a pint.
Dude, what do you mean sipping? I've been gulping it since the stream went down.
So before I had us canceled, I think I was shouting out Flaccid Phoenix, who's still stuck around, because I watched their video earlier today about Halo, and they suggested that possibly the diverse female that keeps being shown repeatedly and has lines could be receiving the torch passed from Master Chief.
I believe
it. I could see it.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear us? If you guys, I got Floral saying mic checks. Are we good? I think we're good.
Yeah.
No,
Max, say something, Max, just so see if anybody else can hear you.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully this works this time around, and I do have other microphones that I can play around with, but hopefully this should be good. Or maybe that was Paramount's way of just telling me to shut up. I'm not sure.
Well,
so
maybe you work for Paramount. Yeah. Is that it? Maybe you're on the take, Max. With Paramount?
That's it. He's infiltrating our fandom to create Halo Gate, and then be able to promise to write a comic book that'll never be delivered.
Secret, secret.
They can hear him. We're good.
Okay, great, fantastic. Thank you, chat, for letting us know. But no, you're right. Secretly, I've been looking to write a comic book about a toxic fandom, and so I figured I'd join to see what it was all about. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Max, you've come to the right place, because very few people are as toxic as Mike, Zax, and myself, and I wear that label. I wear that label proudly.
No. I'm not toxic. I'm a very pleasant person to deal with.
Yeah.
I never say anything mean about anybody.
So just to sum up, we were talking while the stream was down, and we were talking about tropes, and which is a word that I didn't really use in regular everyday sentence until I started to hear the lunatics in the comic creating world talk about tropes and how they have to subvert the tropes. And Zax, you were talking about with Halo that the Master Chief can't rescue anybody, especially other female soldiers, part of the Navy. I believe that's something that's going to come true. And we saw that in Wheel of Time, Max. We saw that where Perrin, remember the guy who was this wolf energy dude? He was captured by the White Cloaks, which are this intolerant religious group in the books. And he couldn't save the girl that he was trapped with. The girl he was trapped with had to save him. And completely unbelievable. So that's pretty much what
he showed his angry eyes.
Yes,
he did. Yeah, he thought about it.
Ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, so the next thing we were going to talk about was Apple TV. First of all, let me ask you guys this. First of all, I don't watch anything on Apple TV. I don't want to give them any more damn money than I already have. Have you guys seen any shows on Apple TV? And if so, what did you think about them? Same thing with people in the chat. If there's something you saw that you thought was great, tell us why. If you saw something that was not so good, tell us why too. So open forum, whoever wants to go first.
I have Apple TV. Never used it.
Really? There's been a lot of science fiction on there. Wasn't it the Foundation books were on there? There was, what was it, Invasion? You know, there was a whole bunch of stuff that looked like generic sci-fi, and you didn't watch any of it. Was there a reason why, or?
I just don't watch anything on my TV. I use the computer.
Well, that's really good, because I can't imagine ever watching anything on a TV. You're right, Mike. That's a good point. What about anybody else? You guys, have you guys seen anything on Apple TV?
I've seen previews, but I haven't watched anything on there because I don't bother giving Apple any money for years.
I don't watch anything on. Well, I don't pay for it, but I do watch some shows from Apple TV, so Ted Lasso is actually really good, but it's not sci-fi or fantasy, but it's a good show. I recommend that, but don't pay for it.
Do you guys recall if Raised by Wolves is an Apple TV show, or is that HBO Max? I forget.
No idea.
I've never heard of it. What's that about, Max?
Raised by Wolves is a science fiction that is about these AIs who are raising human children, and there's like this kind of military group
Max,
that
it's on HBO
I
Max.
saw that.
Oh,
I
it
saw
is.
that.
Okay, yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
The one of the protagonists is Ragnar from Vikings. I think, okay, so that's HBO Max. So then,
Yeah, it's HBO
yeah,
Max.
okay, yeah, it's HBO Max. So yeah, then no, I have not watched anything from Apple TV then, because I thought that was, but yeah.
Ted Lasso, baby, go watch it.
My whole family's obsessed with Apple. We all have Apple iPhones. We all have our iPads. We all have our Apple Watches. And so I got the Apple TV 4K. It runs my life. I can tell Siri to open up my garage and close my garage.
Oh, God.
Turn lights on and off. And
I don't use any of that deviltry. No, I mean, it's interesting because Apple committed a lot of money to developing their own streaming content. You know, this was back when, you know, it was the wild west of the content streaming wars, and there was a lot of over-promising, and I think, as we've all seen, under-delivering. It's interesting, though, that Apple, I swear to God, I never see anybody on YouTube talking about the shows. Like, and I subscribe to a lot of channels, but I'm curious. I mean, why do you think that is? Why is no one talking about Foundation, or what was it, Invasion? Is it just because the show sucked that much, or is there resentment against Apple? This is open to anybody on the panel. Why do you think that is?
from my point, lack of advertising. I didn't even know that they were out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have heard something about Foundation, but it's only that it exists.
I wonder if there's how much of it is people taking their platform for their television platform seriously. You know, because HBO's, thanks to Game of Thrones, has made it a kind of a standard thing. Netflix, obviously, Amazon has cemented themselves in presentation. So I wonder with everything out there, if people really sit there and look at Apple and say, "Oh, I can watch TV there too."
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest show I think that cost-wise they produced was Foundation, but they advertised it by saying it's going to be boring. So, like, who's going to watch that? They said it's going to be nothing like the book and it's going to be boring. So please tune in.
Wait a minute. Whoa, it's going to be nothing like the book and it's boring. Okay, where have we seen that?
It's not supposed to be good.
Yeah, that's right. It's not supposed to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and we talked about it last week. Everybody is doing the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's NBC, CBS, HBO, Amazon, Paramount Plus, Apple. They're all developing the same type of content with the same ideology based upon the same ESG scores. You know, and it's like, at what point are we all going to call them out for that? Because all of this entertainment is being destroyed and deconstructed with the same exact talking points. Now, Mike, Max, Zax, is that unfair? Nathan, am I putting on a tinfoil hat and talking crazy?
I don't believe so.
Same hat I wear.
If so, I think we all have it on. I'll bring up something that I brought up to one of my friends the other day in a live stream as well. But it's interesting because do we, because we're calling a lot of this stuff out, and we're for some people, especially Ethan Van Sciver, who's a huge portion of the comic book community and Comicsgate, but Ethan Van Sciver continually preaches, do not talk about these shows, do not give these shows a platform, do not watch these shows, do not engage in anyone talking about these. He's very adamant about that. And I don't know where I stand, because sometimes there are opportunities where you have to call this stuff out, because it's so important for people to hear this is not how our characters need to be portrayed.
I agree.
And then there are other times where people would say, but by you doing that, it promotes the show, because all press is negative, or negative press is all press. So it's this kind of catch-22, and I'm not really sure where to stand, but I would love to hear from you guys to see kind of what that looks like, I guess. But
yeah, no, those are good points. Nathan, what do you think? What do you think about that?
I mean, there's just too much stuff going on, and there's just the oversaturation is just absolutely ridiculous. I sit there, my wife and my daughter were watching Enola Holmes the other day.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh,
and
God.
and they'll watch anything. I mean, they just like, oh, it's a light in front of my eyes. So, oh no, wait, that's a train. Never mind. But they're sitting there watching it, and I was in the kitchen making something. Then I walked in, sat down to enjoy what I had made to eat, and there was like a voiceover of this woman talking to Enola Holmes with her daughter, and she says, "And don't trust anyone, especially men." And I'm like, "Yep, that's all I needed to hear."
Oh God.
It's like that. Saved me from being even remotely interested in a character that was never written in the books in the first place.
I do tell my daughters that same thing, though. Stay away from men. Don't trust men.
Yeah,
this
for
is
a very different reason, though.
This is interesting. I apparently need to drop a disclaimer, and I can't tell if I'm just being screwed with. Obviously, no one in this channel is advocating doing anything illegal. Any comments on the chat are their own. I certainly support anything that supports freedom, and I will not.
I love Apple. I love Apple TV.
I don't.
I love Paramount Plus and Microsoft.
No, I don't. Shill alert. OBG70 is a shill. You heard it here.
YouTube is the greatest platform ever.
Oh,
everybody should be on Twitter.
Finally release his inner self.
Yeah.
So I can jump on the back of that one and just say that last year, while they're trying to see how they can fit one of everything into shows on Amazon, I was watching Squid Game, and you guys aren't gonna believe this, but I managed to identify with the characters on the screen even though they don't look like me.
What?
Hard to believe, huh? Yeah.
What?
No, you didn't. There's no
amazing.
How is that possible? I thought he
chose to identify as Asian while he watched it.
He obviously hates himself.
You saw my mask, didn't you?
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean that's the really crazy thing. I think and to me, I mean, I'm 50, and I remember being taught very, very, very specifically, starting in Sesame Street in the early 70s, never to judge someone by the way they look, by the color of their skin, by their gender, and to judge them on how they act and what they do. And it's just baffling me to be at this point in our life where we've got all these developmentally stunted creatives running around telling us the exact opposite. I mean, I am completely at a loss what to do with this.
You might get us nuked again by saying that, Corey.
Yeah, you're right. There I go, talking about being a humanist and being colorblind. You're right. That's really toxic, isn't it? I'm going to read this super chat from Paul. Dude, you are awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. I'm going to give you something deep out of the bag of tricks.
Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the Red Dawn.
I could just watch that over and over again. Paul, thank you so much. $5. A insider said in 2020, studios understood woke didn't sell, but did not want mostly peaceful protests in their parking lots. It's a long production time. That I think that's fair. I also, how do I say this? Or do we even say it at all? I still keep wondering how all of those mostly peaceful things got funded. That's all I'm gonna say. But what do you guys? I think, Paul, you're actually right. I think there's the production lead times have been much longer because of the woofy thing, and now we're still getting, I think, a lot of stuff that was probably in the pike, probably from before the 2020 election, that is coming out now. But Max, what do you think about that? Do you see this trickling off anytime soon, or are we just going to have to keep bracing for impact with the infiltration of our entertainment?
Well, to kind of piggyback off of your last point, with the ideology that's being pushed around, well, actually, I'll just go. I'll just go right off of the super chat. I guess to answer in short, I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the comic book community. The big reason why we're seeing tokenized characters, the big reason why we're seeing a lot of characters that do not represent kind of the actual characteristics of heroes, is because of a lot of contracts. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people don't see. And so I think we're going to see a lot more of this. That's what I was going to say about what you had kind of mentioned earlier. It does feel a little demeaning to people to base them off of their skin color, right? It feels like these production companies and these writers or editors for books and comics or whatnot, it feels like they're taking these stereotypes or archetypes and kind of plugging them into their stories without actually understanding who these characters are, which is to some of my young Marines, who most of my platoon was African American or Hispanic. They would go, I read The Punisher as a kid and I loved him. I didn't need him to be a black guy, So I thought that was kind of interesting to hear from my own Marines who were, like I said, African American or Hispanic or whatnot. And so it's unfortunate because I think we're going to get a lot more of this, even though your demographic really isn't enjoying it as much. But I guess that's what I'll say on that point. So.
No, I'm really glad you brought that up, because I always like to be sensitive to people's military service. And I worked with the Navy, but I was a civilian contractor. So
that's right.
And it's man, I was around a lot of enlisted guys, and some of the officer corps too. And boy, I still am just baffled by how these creatives are trying to tell people they should see the world, because the world doesn't work like that. I mean, we've all lived in it, and you brought up the Punisher, but I know they're not stopping just at the swaps of gender and race. They're also starting to take things away from the characters themselves that they perceive as being problematic. I think this is a good. Go ahead.
Well, and I think too, to piggyback off of what Max was saying too, is that in being reductive like that to where your skin color is what matters, or your sexual preference matters, you have done exactly what that same group of folks like to sit there and say, we're all human. Well, you've eliminated their humanity by limiting their personality to something that's only surface deep, and it is completely demeaning to not just the characters but the individuals that also play those roles.
Nathan, that's you said it better than I ever could have, brother. That really is the core of what it is. It's demeaning. At least I think so for you know for those characters and for those fans who watch it. I know a lot of people who really love Luke Cage or really love Falcon, and yet they don't have their own title. They don't have their own show. Luke Cage got a Netflix series, but it wasn't that great. Falcon has to have the mantle of Captain America to give him any agency. So,
which is crazy. It's crazy.
oh yeah, because I mean, you read those Falcon comics and they're fantastic. He has character, he has motivation, but you give him the Captain America shield, and he just becomes another tokenized character, and that's not what he was designed to be. He was designed to have his own agency. So it's very unfortunate to see that, and it's the same thing with, and I'm assuming, Wheel of Time, when you have female characters taking over as male archetypes or whatnot. It almost seems demeaning to a point that you can't give these characters any agency. But
Yeah, there's so many of these characters that existed, and they were out there. I mean, we had North Star. I remember when the North Star comic book came out, and that's back when I was still collecting. And I collected it because I knew it was a moment in time. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't identify with that character based on its sexuality at all. I just was like, you know what? This is a cool character. I like the art. I thumbed through it once very carefully, put it in my baggie, boarded it, and then put it on the collector's shelf. You know why? Because I'm a collector. I like certain things, but that decision has more to do with the quality of the artwork and what people are saying about the story contained, not about the check boxes and tokenization that's on the cover. And I keep coming back to this. Is there really a new audience out there for Marvel and DC comics who they simply buy something because they see themselves, whether it is a pink-haired, non-gendered, furry who's got commie tattoos? Like, I'm sure there are people out there, I'm sure there are people out there that might even have enough money to buy a comic book that looks like that. But how big is that audience?
Yeah, it's oh, go ahead.
From what I hear, and I don't follow comics much, but from what I hear, all the woke rebrandings of Superman, Batman, all that, they're bombing like nuts. I mean, it's just not good.
Good characters with good stories made the intellectual property very popular.
That sounds very racist, Mike.
And then once it became very popular, you had a marginalized group saying, how come I don't see myself in there? Therefore, they have switched the pendulum as far to the other side as they could, and they're cramming all the identity politics groups into those stories, which, because it is their primary goal, there's no more story, and the characters are different. So now no one likes it. And I don't understand why this is confusing to anybody. It's like,
let me get to the super chat. Then I want to hear from Max, because I think Max is going to bring some insights on this. One of the things that I watched in your video that you did talking about Lord of the Rings was you talked about the Punisher and about the race change there. I would like to hear your perspective, because man, you got some awful nice toys behind you, Max. Ooh, boy, that's,
thank you.
Ooh, boy,
They're
I'm gonna find out
beautiful.
where you live and break it. Let's go. All right, let me get to the super chat. That's not me talking. That is Jim B. All right, and this is from Flaccid Venus. Hail to you. I'm going to give you something special.
May the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Hail to Flaccid Phoenix. This is a $10 super chat. It says, I have seen enough A24 Studios movies to know what good woke content looks like. Most people should be able to see that they are giving us trash that has no compelling characters or good stories. Hail to you, Flaccid Phoenix. I agree with that 100%. Now, jumping off that, talking about compelling characters and good stories. Max, when you were deployed, dude, you talked about reading Wolverine, and I know behind you have some of the early 90s stuff, and I think, was it the 4-shot with Wolverine? Dude, I collected that, and my greatest regret in life was not buying multiple copies of that. I did not know it was going to blow up and be what it was. I was just like, dude, I love Wolverine. But so what was it that, you were in a stressful situation, you were away from home, you were serving your country, you enjoyed the comic books for the representation, diversity, and inclusion, right? It had nothing to do with good characters and stories, right? Or am I mischaracterizing your experience?
Yeah. Sorry. I want to make like a sarcastic joke, but I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm not that funny. So I'll just, I will say it was solely based off of the story. I mean, and like you said, that 4-issue miniseries by Frank Miller is one of the greats.
Oh my God.
Wolverine is classified by that series. A lot of who he is was created from that 4-issue miniseries.
It's perfect.
It really is so good, and it's simple, and it's very it delves into the character of who Wolverine is. And the beautiful thing about it is I am not a 5'2" hairy animal laced with adamantium. However, Wolverine struggles with who he is. Is he an animal, or is he a human? Is he an experiment that the military has created, or does he have emotions? Does he have humanity, quality? Yes, exactly. And these are human struggles that everyone asks these questions about themselves. Am I, do I have these qualities of empathy and compassion and patience towards people? And Wolverine struggles with that every second of his life. And like I said, though I am not a 5'2" Weapon X massive adamantium laced mutant, I still empathized with Wolverine because of his plight of who am I? It is a very simple question. Who am I? Yeah. And I think it's very beautiful. So go ahead.
No, dude, I preach. I mean, like, honest to God, Mike, if you've got that applause thing, dial it down 50% and play it, because that is just so well said. No, dial it down. Funny man. There you go. Yeah. No, I mean, abso-freaking-lutely.
I thought that Max, you could only enjoy the comics if it was Captain America because you were in the military.
Yeah, right. Well, no,
there's your smart aleck comment.
Yeah, the sarcastic side of me says, well, I can only enjoy Punisher because he is also a prior Marine.
Oh, badass. Yep.
And but he is a killer and a conservative and a mass murderer, and so that's who I would. And he's white, right? So that's who I would.
It. That's all you can go with then. Yeah.
That's who I should resonate with, right? And that's what most people would say. But now I will mention Brian's Gate, I believe in the chat, said that he disagrees. He believes Wolverine is a piece of trash. There are times that Wolverine is a horrible person.
He is a psychopath. He really is.
He has been through so much mental, just this cognitive dissonance of, am I a weapon? Am I a human? He's an asshole. He absolutely is a terrible person.
You guys can't say that because he's Canadian and you're not.
It's true. It's true. No, I mean, like all of the flashbacks to what happened to him and what he thinks is real and false memories. I mean, the dude's trying to keep it together, but it's like, and it's in that struggle where it's not just like he's going to slice and dice people up and he's a sociopath or whatever it is. You can see the dude has a soul and he has a moral compass. And it's like, that is the human condition. That is the human story. That's Joseph Campbell. You could take Wolverine, open up, and it's right behind me over here, the hero with 1,000 faces. That archetype, you could go through, cross-reference it, and you could create a doctoral level dissertation on it, and it would be totally accurate. And that's why this character that was created, oh boy, I'm going to butcher this. I'm going to say 50, 60 years ago, arguably. We can sit here and we can talk about and talk about these issues from 20, 30 years ago, and they resonate with us. And my litmus test to all of this has been, if I were to give a kid that I just met who's in my neighborhood who rides his BMX bike around a comic book, would that kid go and read it, and then the next time he saw me get excited about it, even though he's 10 and I'm 50? That transcends time, you know? And it's like, you show me one current title from Marvel or DC where you would give it to a 10-year-old kid and they would care at all. I mean, really, you know? But I really think things like Marvel and old Batman and Superman, they would.
And it would also be frustrating for that child to determine who is good and who is evil in the most modern depictions of heroes, because they would pick up the story or the comic book and they'd go, okay, so I see this person, you know, being upset or killing this person, but
they're justified.
Right, but that's justified. Okay. Whereas like clearly in the you know, early 90s or late 80s, early 90s, and then even with the early 2000s with the Punisher Max series, Punisher is clearly a psychopath, but he's killing evil people. It is very clear the black and white, you know, or scenarios there.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely agree. No, dude, I don't mean to interrupt you. I mean, I'm just preaching to the choir. Consider it like you are up on the pulpit and I'm in the congregation going, "Can I get an amen?" Because dude, you just touched on something so important. And no, I mean, really, honest to God, this is not feigned enthusiasm. Is you touched on something that we have not yet covered in any of our live streams, and it is something I want to talk about more, and not just tonight. Let me get to this first super chat though. This is from Lyle Hammock. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. I just want to say that you followed us through us getting nuked by Paramount. This is something special that I am going to pull out just for you, Lyle Hammock.
You travel light. That is handsome walk.
Yeah. I say it every time that video plays, but man, I could hump me some work tonight. I'll tell you that. That's hail to you,
Paramount.
They're more goblin. Well, they're more ass goblin. Let's be honest. So this is from Lyle Hammock for $50 US. Hello, I love when I make Nathan break up. Hello, all. I dread what is coming for my beloved Lord of the Rings. You are not alone, Lyle. Amazon is going to make us beg for the Ralph Bakshi films. Actually, I really like the Bakshi films. I do. They are a product of their time, but man, they're gorgeous animation. They just can't tell stories of true heroes, no matter who they are. You are not wrong. And we've been talking about it in the stream, and we're going to continue to talk about it. It's not just heroes can't be heroes, but when you destroy the archetypes that are known throughout the world, not just in Western civilization literature, but also in Asian cultures, in African cultures, in South American cultures, you know, in the culture that's buried under the ice in the Antarctic with the aliens, they have the same they have the same archetypes. It's a universal constant. So no matter who they are, Éowyn facing down the Witch King is heroic. No one cared. It's true.
She was a woman.
She was a woman.
But that's the finish of it.
Oh, thank you. No one cared she was a woman. Thank you for that, Zach. It was cut off on the screen. It's true. I mean, we keep coming back to the Lord of the Rings, which, you know, it's everybody heaps it with praise. And I just rewatched it yesterday again. And I got to tell you, I keep trying to find things that are wrong with it. But here's the thing. Every damn show that I look at or review that is current year just makes Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings that much better. It's weird. It's crazy. But hail to you, Lyle Hammock. Thank you for being such a long time supporter of this channel, and also for following us over after getting nuked by Paramount. So you guys respond to this thing. How are we feeling about Lord of the Rings? You know, I mean, we haven't seen a damn picture, but how are we feeling about it?
Can I go back real quick to Flaccid's comment? Because the good woke content,
Mhm.
you can find that stuff occasionally because it's not preachy stuff. I think Arcane on Netflix does this and does it pretty
Yes.
well.
Okay, fair.
Another
fair.
one that just started this past weekend is the animated series on Amazon. Now
Machina, Ex Machina.
yeah, Vox, the Legend of
Yeah.
Vox Machina,
Yep.
and
yep.
it's just 3 episodes so far, so they still have plenty of time to mess it up. But so far, the first 3 episodes have been really entertaining, and they've got the woke stuff in there. It's clearly there, but it's never the headline part of the driving part of the story. And and unfortunately, to lead into this next super chat, that's what it's going to be. Otherwise they would have publicized a heck of a lot more than just a burning wood trailer that said absolutely nothing but a title that when you put the initials together, it's LOTR trope. And
Yeah.
Wow.
it's
I didn't see that before. Holy crap.
Max, I know you're chomping at the bit, and I'm not going to steal any of the thunder from your video when I watched it again today, just so I was on the same page with you. give us your assessment of what you think they're going to do with the Lord of the Rings of Power.
Yeah. You have to say it that way, right? It's so clunky. You have to kind of chop it up.
It's like reading out of a military instruction manual where it's nothing but acronyms and diagrams that don't align with what they're talking about. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel bad. I feel like I've been talking a lot tonight, so I apologize if I've been running my mouth. But after
No.
a few drinks, I've just been,
This is why I brought you on, because you're a wild party guy, and I want wild party guys. No, Max, I feel like you haven't talked enough. I'm loving this, dude. So please fire away, sir.
No, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I think I can echo a lot of the sentiments that a lot of people feel, and that is just the fear of not doing the source material well. And if I can quote from my video, the Lord of the Rings fans becoming just another statistic of the massive amounts of fans from dead and dying
Yes.
franchises.
Yeah, another mass casualty event. That's what this is going to be.
Exactly. And I fear for the fans because they from the source material, if we're talking source material, they're adapting something that doesn't really exist to be taken and made into a film. It's a biography of characters, of this person, son of this person, son of this person, did this notable thing.
Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily something that can be, adapted. And so my biggest fear is just that the Lord of the Rings fans who have never had to worry about this before are finally going to have to come to this realization of, do I accept this show for what it is, or am I going to stand against these corporate companies? Because the Lord of the Rings is really the last of its kind,
It is.
So unfortunately I felt so, Lord of the Rings for me personally was higher on my scale than Star Wars, which I know for a lot of people is blasphemy, but for me that was just
you're right on, brother.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. And so it was hard for me to watch my Star Wars fans, my friends who were Star Wars fans, go through this time of like mourning almost. You know what I mean?
We talked about this the other day. It was the stages of grief. And this was actually a section that we were going to get to into the show. Don't let me discourage you from talking about it though at all, Max, because really what we're talking about is we're talking about the death of a loved one with these franchises. And Doctor Who, I think, got it the worst, really. And then I would say Star Trek And the problem is that Star Wars is on some bizarre life support where they seem to be doing these monkey heart, pig spleen organ transfers into it to try and keep it alive, and yet the organs are just failing even more. I just don't know how else to put it. But I don't mean to interrupt you, Max. I just what you're saying resonates with me so much.
Yeah, don't ever feel like you're interrupting. If anything, I'm talking too much. You're just taking my points and solidifying them even more so, which is fantastic. And I think which is why
Corey just wanted to add his little medical expertise in there. That's
true.
Yeah,
to do.
That's what it was.
Dude, I implant a lot of pig parts in. Oh, I've said too much. Never mind. Go ahead. Matt. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, you really do. It like I envision this corpse that's just kind of hanging there, wired to all these different, odd things that are just keeping it barely alive. And it's just, saying like, kill me, because it's just so tortured and
that's perfect.
Just contorted, because
it's dark.
It's dark. It's dark, and I apologize. It really is dark.
No, you're right though.
No, you're good.
It's weird, but it really is kind of what I envision when I see these like weird instances of franchises that I go, God, what is this? It's not what it used to be, but it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Like you were talking about these different organs from different things that are just
they don't belong
together.
in that body. Yeah, they don't belong in it,
Yeah.
and it may have the same name anatomically, but it doesn't fit in what the biology of what it's been implanted to is. And I think just, dude, I'm not going to watch. I'm out on Star Wars. I've been out on Star Wars since The Last Jedi. I never saw The Rise of Soy Woker. I have never seen anything on Disney Plus other than the Luke return scene, which was on YouTube as a clip. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I cried like a little girl with a skinned knee. I did. How could you not? This was all we ever wanted as Star Wars fans. And man, I was 7 years old and I saw the original Star Wars, and it's not called A New Hope. It's called Star Wars in the movie theater when it came out. And it's so frustrating to watch this, but you came up with an analogy, or what was it, a metaphor of this corpse, which is animated by, electrodes that cause it to jerk. And all I kept thinking about was another analogy would be, you remember in Aliens when the Marines go into the reactor and they come across that woman who is in the structure that the aliens have built.
Yes.
And she looks at them and says, kill me.
Yeah.
Because she has something implanted in her which ultimately will kill her. And that, to me, just based on what you're saying, is really what's happening to all these properties. Is they have been implanted by a face hugger. The eggs are incubating, and it's just a matter of time before that chest rips open and something jumps out of it that is not good for anyone in the room. And I'm afraid that's what we're going to get with Lord of the Rings. Now, anybody, am I being unfair there? Am I being overreactive? Is there any ray of hope that anyone has that Lord of the Rings is going to come out well, and including in chat? Like, please, this is an open conversation. Please let us know.
I get the imagery of Spaceballs at the end when you have that little alien mock scene in there, and John Hurt's on the table, and he goes, "Oh no, not again."
Yeah.
It's just constant destroying the stuff we love dear.
Yeah. And speaking of xenomorphs, we have Xenomorph in the chat. I just wanted to call him out. So, Max, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but this is a fellow Marine, Paul Wolfley. Would you mind reading this super chat, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. He says, my Marine brother, where did you serve? I was A1 187, Iraq, 2003. Bravo 2 506 2006 Baghdad, and C-15 in Afghanistan 2011. Airborne Infantry in U. Man, that is incredible. Paul Wolfley,
outstanding.
Yeah, that is incredible, brother. And hey, Semper Fi and Ra to you, good sir. I always love finding another crayon eater here on on YouTube, because that is what we tend to be. But
military tropes. Here we go.
yep,
Roger that.
You gotta do
Roll.
them. But you know what's funny is that these tropes hold true a lot of the times. But yeah, Paul, I will say I was in 0811, or excuse me, in 0802. My Marines were 0811, so that is the code designated to artillery Marines. My deployment was to Baghdad, Iraq, and Djibouti, Africa in 2019, so not too long ago, 2018, 2019. We were there to support the Baghdad embassy during the Iraqi protests, and those were not peaceful protests, as one might say here.
Were they mostly peaceful?
Yeah, they were mostly peaceful.
They were that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were a part of what's called a crisis response team, and so what myself and my unit, I was attached to an infantry unit during the time as the artillery, I guess, designator. Any type of artillery, air support, or mortars, I would be employing those. So yeah, we went over to support the embassy over there. So to answer your question, Paul, yeah, I served from 2017 till 2021. So not too long ago, a few months back, I got out and started the channel. But yeah, brother, it's like I said, always glad meeting a fellow Marine, and thank you for your donation to the channel.
Thank you so much, Paul Wolfley. This is for you.
Lock and load! Fire!
There's something else I can watch all day long. Classic
awesome.
Trek in the original Star Trek movies. I know there's a couple not so great ones in there, but boy, I'd watch those on repeat nonstop compared to what we've gotten from Alex Kurtzman. I'm just gonna say that, and guess what that's on? That's on Paramount Plus too. So yeah, they got a real successful business model over there. So
I will apologize real quick. I'm bending the knee, Paul, because apparently I said something wrong. Paul is Army. I am Marine Corps. Paul says Army, but we love our Marine little brothers. Paul, I will humbly say that yes, we are the redheaded stepchild of the Navy. However, I have worked with Army soldiers, and that has been quite an experience.
And we are now the military talk hour.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
Not in a bad way.
No.
At all. Cool. No, I like it.
no.
But Flaccid Phoenix has a message for you too.
Yeah, I was SP MAGTAF, brother. You said you were in Kuwait 2014, 2016. Yeah, Kuwait is kind of the holding cell for all military branches: Marine Corps, Army, Navy, Air Force. Even there were some Czechoslovakians, some Italians. We met everyone in Kuwait, and that's where our holding cell was, Flaccid. And then from Kuwait, we were on a 48-hour to 72-hour tether to crisis response, special purpose MAGTAF, to any type of situation that was going on, whether that was in the Middle East or in Africa. And so that's what we responded to. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you were not pushing any pencils behind any desks there. Were you? Yeah, going back to the Lord of the Rings stuff, it's, we've heard this for a while. So here's the thing with the Lord of the Rings. I mean, big channels, Gary from Nerdrotic, Heel versus Babyface, the Critical Drinker, others have been providing us with little
OBG70, yeah.
I don't know. Mike, who is that? Who's OBG70? I don't know that channel.
Gimli 70.
Number one,
Yeah.
guys. Come on, number one.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've heard all these little snippets, and it's felt like this trickle for, 3 years, right? 3 years this thing has been going on. And so I tried to put together a video 2 weeks ago where I took all of the things that I'd heard these major channels like Gary, like Az had said, and then go and do my own research. Because, I mean, I'm not saying anyone isn't being forthright. But at the same point, I want to find the source material so I can validate what they said. And if anybody says they're wrong, say, bullshit, this is real. So I put together that video, and especially when it comes to Christopher Tolkien, after he died, it really seemed like Amazon changed their posture completely, and things started happening very, very, very quickly, like the writer's room being 86th. You saw Tom Shippey being 86th. You saw, oh my God, what's his name? Howe. I think it was John Howe, the Tolkien artist. Yeah, the gone. I mean, between him and Alan Lee, these are the two preeminent, scholars of Tolkien art and cartography and everything else. And then what did we get after all those changes happened? Less than a month later, Amazon dropped their diversity and inclusion in every production guidebook. And I'm not going to sit here and defend why I think that's problematic, because it's true, and Nerdrotic says this, but it's also true no matter if Gary said it or not. It's that Tolkien was an Englishman. The English Isles had been overrun by the Saxons, and before that, the Romans, and they had their history and their culture and their religions literally razed to the ground. So there was only an oral tradition for them. And Tolkien, being a very accomplished academic at Oxford, who actually wrote the Oxford Dictionary, wanted to create a mythology that he could share with his children, and then ultimately the world, which is what gave us The Hobbit in the 1930s. Now here we are. It's almost been 100 years since Tolkien started writing his Lord of the Rings works. And I include The Hobbit in that. And now we have woke globalist corporations who are using an artificial gauge of whether something has artistic merit or not, based only upon superficial qualities and pronouns. How is this going to end, guys? Like, if I've said anything in there that you disagree with, call me out. I want to know.
I'll let you guys go. I feel like I've been talking, so I'll let you guys go first if you want to.
Did I lose the chat on that one? Was I ranting too much? Probably.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think you're spot on, brother.
Question is what to do about it.
Yeah.
That is a good question of, now that we're seeing this happen, what now? Do we, how do we combat it? How do we take up our shields, or our spears and shields? Do we take to the battlefield? Or
I think what we're doing right now is what best we can do. I mean, the alternative is just don't watch.
Right.
Keep your money. But then the next level is make a YouTube channel, make videos, let people know, they're not alone. They need to stand up. Don't get sucked in. Stick to your guns. All those things.
Yeah. I think we have to absolutely keep calling it out. That's all we can do, is showing it to people, making sure that they know we're going to show it to them, and if there's something good, recommend it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's another big one.
I think it's really important to understand that stuff like this, what we're doing, is our way out, is our release, because they're going to continue crashing ships into a lighthouse all day long. And as long as we have these forums or the ability to join together in conversation and vent our frustrations with it, but also in the process of venting our frustration, unite around the goodness that is Tolkien's work, Robert Jordan's work.
Amen.
All those things, all that stuff just helps build up back up to the stuff that we really do truly love and enjoy. And it's about books and comics and stuff like that you can take the original Star Wars, what is now known as Episode 4, 5, and 6, and you can completely, like what I think Mike's done it too, say 1, 2, and 3, and 7, 8, and 9 don't exist. Because George Lucas had the perfect series right there, and he didn't need to do anything else with it.
Yeah.
And so we attach ourselves to the things we love. We talk about the things that we love and enjoy, and there we go.
Yep. And as Miss Martin Muses says in chat,
Oh,
encourage
hey.
people to read the books,
Yes.
read the letters, read all the things, stick to the source.
Yeah, that's been one of the really joyful things in doing the Wheel of Time reviews that I have. And I've done a lot of them. I have. And some of those episodes were so bad, Max, if you haven't watched any of my stuff, and I'm not trying to get you to, some of those episodes, some of the episodes had deviated so much from the source material that literally it took 3 separate 45-minute videos to show what had happened, to talk about it, and then ridicule. Like, we're not even talking about the same plane of existence where Rafe Judkins went with Wheel of Time. But where I'm going with that is just what Nathan Amanda Manethrin said. So many people in my comment section have said, I watched this, I thought it was crap, and you said go pick up the book. I picked up the book and I love it. Just today, somebody on one of my videos that I made a month ago said, I am halfway through Eye of the World. No, 3/4 the way through Eye of the World. I've already downloaded the second book, The Great Hunt. I can't wait. This is so great. Why did Amazon do this to the story? We can say that about so many things. And what you were saying, I think it was Max, what we saw with people feeling alienated by Star Wars, I think is going to pale in comparison to the amount of global response to people reacting to, I think, unfortunately, what they're going to do to Amazon's Lord of the Rings of Power property. And if you remember, those of you who are Star Wars fans and you saw The Last Jedi, there are 5 stages of grief. It's true when a family member dies. It's true when you get a divorce. But remember this. Remember what happened when you saw The Last Jedi. You walked out and went, oh, it was a Star Wars movie. I don't know what happened, but it was Star Wars. And you were in the denial phase. And then you, like me, I'll speak for myself. I woke up the next day and I was angry. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell just happened? Why did they have like your mama jokes like in a Star Wars movie? And then they're flying bombers in space and there's gravity in space. What the hell? And then I was like, okay, it's not me. I'm going to go look on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to bargain my way out of this. And then I got depressed and I went to YouTube and I found Gary and I found Doomcock and I found Heel versus Babyface, and they helped me understand that I wasn't crazy and I was not a racist, and I was right in being a fan and feeling all of the strong emotions that I did. And to wrap this long screed up, I think we're going to see that a lot more with the Lord of the Rings property. You guys tell me, am I crazy? Am I right? Am I overblowing this?
No, you're not. And I think in the chat, I think it was Oateo. I think he mentioned earlier in the chat before we got Paramounted that he also started reading Wheel of Time. So,
outstanding.
I think it was him. So, the reaction's going to continue to grow. And I think you're going to, what you're going to see is just 2 echo chambers on each side just continue to grow, and it's just going to be that perpetually. I think
there is good news. I have a 16-year-old daughter. I do not control what she watches or what she likes. I'll let her do her own thing. She cannot stand Book of Boba Fett. She says it's completely stupid.
No.
She hates all the new Star Wars movies. Although she was a huge fan initially, she's grown up and realized how bad they were.
Wow.
All of this, identity politics laden crap that we're getting shoved down our throats. She's going, yeah, no, thank you. No, thanks. And it's not me. I don't discuss politics with her. I'm, like I said, I don't control. I just guide a little bit, but I say, if you want to go see it, I'll take you. Nope. And I say, well, about your friends at school? They're like, yeah, no one watches this. I think she went to episode 3 of Boba Fett, and I go, have you seen 4 yet? Nope. Have you seen 5? You might like 5 since you like The Mandalorian. You should watch 5. Okay, I'll probably watch it later. But like, she just doesn't care, and she's a huge Star Wars fan. So there are some kids out there. They're young.
Do it.
And they're coming along, and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm rejecting.
I got I got a 17-year-old son, and he's the same way, and they hate this shit. They really they see it for what it is, and I've said this before, but like no one listens to their parents or respects what their parents like or want them to do. And in the same way, these kids are not going to follow what they see these adults saying. They don't buy it. I said to my son, "Hey, do you want to watch Hawkeye?" And he goes, "Why?" And I didn't have an answer for that. And like, you know, he's the right age, the right demo. You'd think he'd want to watch a Marvel show. Yeah. Not at all. He didn't want to see Shang-Chi. He doesn't watch the channels I watch. He just didn't want to see it. Same, like it's out there. I think those kids are really pushing back on this narrative because it's coming from adults, just like we did, and they're not dumb.
Yeah. And
they don't give it the time and attention we do. They just walk away from it and do something else. So, I mean,
it's the apathetic mindset. It's you know, I'm not angry at it. I'm not sad. I'm just kind of, I don't care. Like both of you gentlemen both said, you know, your son and daughters are at this apathetic point in their, you know, fandom where they're just like, I just don't give a shit about this. Like it doesn't interest me anymore. And I would argue that is even more dangerous than if someone were to say, I vehemently do not agree with this and would want to, you know, talk about it. Because if you're apathetic towards something, you just throw it away, you know, and that can be even more dangerous. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No. I'm agreeing with you. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is ambivalence and apathy.
Yeah.
Because then you don't care that your ex is out there, you know, with some, you know, poser or whatever. You are over it. You are down the road and you are cruising your own side of the street, checking things out, you know, and that's, you know, that's when you know you're over something. Whether and it doesn't matter. It can be in a relationship. It can be anything else. Is when you get beyond it. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't remember it. That doesn't mean you sometimes don't get a twinge. But what that means is you don't just say that you don't give a shit. You really don't give a shit. And when you do that to a up and coming fan base, you know, not all of us who are 50 are going to live forever. I know that's unfortunate. All right. Well, everybody, you know, Mike will live forever because he's the Highlander, but I am not. And, you know, these properties that they're destroying, I gotta think though, I gotta hope that it, you know, what do we call it? Gen Z, or I don't even know what the hell the shill media calls them. I think these kids are going to pick up legacy properties, and I think they're going to find meaning in the shows that we had in the 70s and 80s. I know we had somebody who's in our chat regularly, Jaden, and I forget his last name. And it was last week where Mike was turning him on to Stargate, SG-1, you know, and it's like, they're longing to find something good that has that hero's archetype that you were talking about, Max, that has, you know, those archetypes are woven into us at the genetic level. They are, you know, those heroes, you know, it's ancestral memory. Our ancestors had to go through a lot harder times than someone misgendering us, you know, and as a result,
you know, there's a reason why like 80s movies are the best movies.
Yeah.
Cocaine.
Sure.
Fair. No, fair. I mean, I am neither condoning nor condemning that drug, but what I'm saying is the output as a result of that in short bursts has been pretty remarkable. Speaking of that, let me get to Lyle Hammock. Yeah. This is a $20 super chat. You've been very patient, Lyle. I'm going to pull something deep out of the bag of tricks for you.
The chat overall.
Target that explosion and fire.
Fire!
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Zach. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say that our chat has been on fire all night, and it's hard to give them to get the back and forth. I'd like to, but like,
I know you guys are.
They've taken over for themselves. Like some of the conversations on here are unbelievable.
And I know. I want to get you guys like find me on Twitter. I'll send you the link. Come and join us in the live stream because you guys are awesome. No, seriously, this channel would be nothing without our chat. Zach and I talk about it all week. Mike too. Our favorite thing is to read the chats as much as we can during the live stream, but we also, after the show, go and look and your enthusiasm, your comments, your humor, You're breaking our balls. It is so awesome. And we love this community. But this community wasn't made by me or Zax or Mike. It's you guys in the chat. And my God, thank you so much.
These
for doing
guys, as soon as you're done with the live stream, they watch it again.
We do, because I can't keep up with the chat and I want to see what you guys are saying.
Me, I go find something to drink, sit down and watch some TV and pet my dog. These guys, they're like, oh man, this is so good. I go, you're really watching it again?
Yes.
The entire 3 hours? They're like, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all because of you guys. That's all because of you guys in chat.
I want to point out Odio because, I guess he's come up before, but I don't think I've seen him in the chats until today. And like every page or two, it's just like a Confucius gem of a comment. It's pretty crazy. So,
let me get to the super chat and then throw that on the screen. Yeah. I want to see that. Lyle Hammock, thank you to you. This is a $20 super chat. Tolkien hated allegory.
Go ahead.
No. I'm letting that sink in.
Okay.
Because this is not the first time we've heard this. There are other YouTubers that have said this, but this is also true, empirically true. Tolkien hated allegory. If you go back and watch the black and white film strips with him, he's kind of a surly dude. And he says he hates allegory. He really does. The idea that you are trying to teach a lesson with your story, preferring applicability, which Grand Miss provided. It's true. Applicability. You tell a story. It has a moral to the story that is accessible to anyone. So modern writers have an arrogance. Oh God, where to start with that one? That is 100% true.
Yes,
they know better. These, you know what? I hope they still teach creative writing the way I learned in college in the 90s, but I somehow doubt it. They know better. It's moronic and vapid. Oh my God, Lyle, dude, you are here all the time. You are always in my chat section.
Yes,
thank you so much. I mean, again, our channels, my channel, we're just morons with microphones. I'm glad something that I says resonate with you, and I am so happy every time I see you, Lyle, all my Wolf brothers, and all the usual suspects in here in the chat every week. Hail to you, Lyle Hammock.
Hail, amen, and very well said.
So, Zax, you had another comment that you wanted to put up there. Let's drop that, man.
I was going to pretend this was mine.
Oh, no, dude, you take this. You take the lead.
Great stories have applicability for all. You can apply their lessons and hardships to your own life, no matter who you are. We all root for Frodo, but none of us are hobbits. Hail to the group.
Oh. You know what? That comment.
Can you throw...
Yeah, that comment. That comment deserves this. Hold on.
And you have my bow.
And my axe.
Yeah, I'm not an elf, and yet I can identify with Legolas's journey. I'm not a dwarf. Huh? I'm not a dwarf. I'm actually 6'4", so I'm definitely not a dwarf. I can relate with Gimli too. You know, Max, what about you? Max, are you a dwarf? Are you an elf? I mean, you seem to like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
sorry. No, wait. Max, are you Peter Dinklage or are you Legolas? I mean, can you identify with the Lord of the Rings despite that?
I'm neither. Nor do I do not have the looks and grace of an elf, nor do I have the stature of a Peter Dinklage. But I think a lot of people can resonate with I think the main two would probably be Frodo and Aragorn. You know, Aragorn being someone, at least in the films, someone who is fearful of the bloodline that he comes from and is not really sure because of the same blood that runs through his own veins. He's not sure how that may tend to line up with this whole thing, which is why he tells Frodo, I would have gone with you till the end, because he knows he has to let Frodo go, things like that. And, a lot of people probably resonate with Frodo because of him taking on this challenge that he doesn't know if he will be able to accomplish in the end. And a lot of people can argue that he didn't, that he actually did fail at the end, but still was able to go the length that he did with Sam to accomplish what it was that they set out to do. But it is, yeah, I cannot, unfortunately, I cannot identify with anyone in Lord of the Rings who doesn't look like me. So no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, and I think we're going to have a hard time in the Rings of Power because it's going to be so different, that there's going to be so many people that don't look like anybody else on the planet that Amazon just may lose whole sections of the planet Earth because the people on screen don't look like where they're from. I hope they really thought about that, because I'm not, obviously I can't relate to whoever doesn't look like me and isn't a heterosexual male. So I'll probably, my screen will go blank because I can't consume that content. Let me get to this. This is a long time, dude. You texted me on Twitter, not texted me. You sent me a message on Twitter on how to say the name. Zach, do you remember? This is the Thad that should be, if I remember correctly. If I said it right, please tell me, sir.
That's right.
You are a loyal chat member. And he says, this is a beautiful line that I am going to do my best to channel my inner thespian. And I did say thespian for Mike. I wanted to repeat that. Among the tales of sorrow and of ruin that come down to us from the darkness of those days where there are yet some in which, amid weeping, there is joy, and under the shadow of death, light that endures. That right
Beautiful.
there is that right there is timeless. It's classic. It doesn't have a gender, a sexuality, a pronoun, a race. It has humanity. It has the human condition contained within that little bit of narrative. And that is so far above so many of these creators today that they shouldn't even be in the same room with the book in which that's written. That's all I'm going to say. Am I being unfair? You guys, call me out. Tell me what you think. I mean, I've had a little bit of bourbon, so I'm being a little bit liberal with how I'm talking, but you guys, I'm not drunk. What I am is just I've had my inhibitions like lifted by 5%. So
when they tell you they're not drunk, that's what.
Yeah. Oh my God! Look at this, and this is again the Thad that shouldn't be. Yeah. All right. You know what? Oh, we're not going to do
showing
that.
off.
Yeah. That's what it is. Again, this is the Thad that shouldn't be. I have read the Lord of the I have read. This is the Thad that shouldn't be. I have read the Lord of the Rings more than 150 times. I believe this guy. The Hobbit and Silmarillion more than 100 times. I gotta tell, dude, the Silmarillion, Nathan, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna drive to wherever you are.
Mandalorian.
I'm gonna punch you in your bearded pipe smoke face.
Come on.
Right.
Hey,
The
I've got a bottle here we can
Silmarillion. Yeah,
I'm gonna pause
more
you.
than 100 times. Yeah.
Good night, Lyle Hammock. Thanks for coming.
Oh, Lyle, thank you so much, brother.
good night,
Loved
Lyle.
having you on tonight. Thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, Lyle.
Fantastic. So the Thad that shouldn't be has read the Lord of the Rings more than 150 times, the Hobbit and the Silmarillion more than 100 times. I have read the entire the entire history of Middle Earth more than 10 times. I'm going to kick this one over to Max. Max, what do you think about that?
That's incredible, brother. And the Thad that shouldn't be.
Yes, that's it, man. Yeah.
Now I'm butchering that instead of Silmarillion. But yeah, that is so cool, man, and it just proves the point of the level and the extent of excitement that people have for these properties.
Yes.
And it really just proves how much these fans hold some of this to be almost sacred text, like scripture in a way.
Yes.
You speak with Tom Shippey, and he will tell you the way that he speaks about Tolkien is as if it is text or if it is scripture. And it's something beautiful. Now, I don't know if I would necessarily call it a religion, but it is something that transcends fandom. It's something that a lot of people designate as something that could potentially save them in times of need or times of escapism, not an absolute triumph from, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings or whatever. I highly doubt anyone was saved by that film. But this scripture, this text, if you will, I do believe have probably saved lives of hundreds, maybe thousands of people, because of times that they really needed the fellowship to help them. And I think that rings true here with the Thad That Shouldn't Be, because obviously he has read this to an extent to where he knows these characters inside and out. So I think it's beautiful. I love that, man. I think that's so cool.
Sounds like he needs to do one of those videos explain to idiots like me what the heck's going on, because I have no idea.
Well, I think
Amazon needs to hire him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they definitely should hire him. We should hire him, maybe. Not that we get paid, but if we did, we could hire him. But he says he read The Hobbit the first time when he was 4. Stupid abusive uncle thought locking me in a room with a shelf of dusty books was punishment, and that's a heavy statement and a heavy thing to have gone through. So I'm sorry that.
Yeah, and Thad That Shouldn't Be. I am not going to take away from your experience at all. I'm just going to say I might know something that rhymes with that, which led me to The Hobbit as well. So you're right. The Hobbit, if it didn't save lives physically, it saved souls and the animus of what it is to be a child. Let's just say that in some certain cases, Tolkien's story and mythology did help people who were, say, in situations very much like yours. So hail to you.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's big. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to call out a chat from Brian's Gate about 10 minutes ago, but we've had this discussion with the Thad That Shouldn't Be. And he said this is in reference to stuff from the past that we look to for true canon and stuff. He says, look at today's music. Funny how movie trailers today still use music from the 60s through 80s music and nothing from 2000 and up. Damn right, Brian.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very true.
That's funny because I was talking about that the other day, and it's crazy because Max and I met before the show yesterday, and we started totally talking about these small little indie bands that we love. Because I drove to Austin to go hang out with That 70s Rock Fan. If you haven't checked out That 70s Rock Fan, true gentleman. We hung out at a little brew pub in Austin for about 2 hours. Anyway, I gave him one of my favorite small indie bands on vinyl. He hadn't heard it before. So Max and I were talking last night, and I was like, Max, man, I totally met That 70s, and I gave him a copy of City in Color, and Max is like, dude, I love City in Color. So it's crazy. There is really good music out there, but it is so slight and slim. You have to go look for small indie stuff it's out there. It's not like the 60s where you could listen to the Supremes or Smokey Robinson or even the 50s, going back to a lot of the rockabilly stuff, and then the 80s. Don't even get me started. Like, I worked on a video today talking about why Tron from 1982 is such an important movie, and then talking about what was going on in the culture of America, especially around music and arcades. If you grew up in the 80s, you know what I'm talking about. So this is absolutely spot on. Nathan, thank you for calling that out. You guys, what do you think about that? Did you guys have a contrary opinion? Is there something from the 2000s and up that you're seeing that maybe we're missing? Because we want to be fair.
Auto-tune sucks.
Fair.
I would say, because you and I talked the other day, Salty, and I can't, it got me. You saw the look on my face. I got excited when you said City in Color. I was like, I
dude,
had
it's so good. Dude.
Yeah, I had this look of like, oh my God, someone else knows this band. And so it kind of brings me back to this thought of whenever we call shit out, I think it's good for us to also recommend these other niche little properties that we do love, because there's so much stuff that people haven't heard about, because they are stuck in the muck and the mire of the thing that they're mourning. And it goes back to kind of the stages of grief that we have discussed earlier. And so there are modern comics, very few, and I won't say that there are a lot, but there are a few modern comics that I've been collecting recently that I've really been enjoying and that I will probably hold on to for my comic collecting career, that I'll say, you know what, this was a good investment and I really enjoyed reading it and I'll go back and read it again. But I guess if, when I do my videos and I call, people out, like when beautiful book started by Robert E. Howard, the Conan Robert E. Howard series.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Now you're talking Mike's language right there.
Yeah. And like stuff like that, I feel like I need to do a better job of that. And I think, everyone would potentially agree with my videos, or agree with me in my videos, in that for every time I call something out, I should probably recommend something as well, because if I call shit out,
like that.
yeah,
I like that.
Because if I only call stuff out and if I only bring in the negative and I only say, well, this is shit and this is terrible and this is why, no one's getting any information other than just, okay, I know not to read that book, but what should I be reading?
It's true. So, and it's hard as a creator, Max, and everybody on this panel can agree, to sit there and continually wake up every day and say how much things aren't good. It's hard. It is hard to get up and want to make a video. And I think, and you guys tell me what you're seeing, but January, this month has been really weird with a lot of the content that we've seen. Now, January is typically a slower month on YouTube, admittedly, but man, things have gone weirdly quiet, as far as like new shows, new things that are coming out. And it's been a bit of a stretch to try and find things that aren't just people talking about Frost or, like what's her name? That fat chick from that show. Not Oprah. What's the other one?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah.
Guinan.
No, that dude, that's not Guinan. That's not Guinan at
Whoopsie.
all. Whoopsie
Goldberg.
Whoopsie. Oh, that's not the Holocaust Goldberg. And
no. Her name's Bitch.
Okay. Oh my God. Hold on. We got something here. Hey, you guys, I need to call this one out. And I don't know if you can get it for me, Zax, or not. I will try and catch up in the chat. There it is. I will bounce this out. I'm boomering the hell out of this. But so why this is important is this is coming to me from one of my Wolf brothers. That's a channel member that I have. It's $2.99 a month if you want to join this gaggle of miscreants that, and people that pass through and then have the good sense like Max to leave and never come back. we have a channel membership that's $2.99 a month. It's the Wolf Brothers. You get some cool Emajoys, and we're going to do, it's either next week or the week after. I'm going to send out the notifications tomorrow. We're going to do members only stream. And I was actually on Comics Division members only stream the other night. And oh God, we went till 2:00 in the morning and I might've drank too much bourbon. I know it's a little weird, but we're going to have a lot of fun on these. And this is where the channel members, you guys tell me what you think. I want to know what you think. So Vic Rattleheaden is one of those people. Vic Rattleheaden, if I'm not mistaken, he is in Vietnam. He gave me, no, he is in India. He has 400 Indian rupees. He gave me my first super chat ever once I got monetized. So every time I see Vic, I want to call him out. He's a channel member. He's a Wolf brother. Hail to you, sir.
Here's an applause.
Yeah. Thank you. This one's for you, my Wolf brother. Hail to you. This is 400 Indian rupees. Oh, look at this. Someone's busting out the David Eddings. Read the Bulgarian series. Okay, this is fair, and we could have a lively conversation about this David Eddings versus Robert Jordan. I would love that. Not as good as The Wheel of Time, but quite good. Do you think so? Do you think Brandon Sanderson betrayed the fans with false advertising and hype? He admits the scripts reworked multiple times after he saw them, but still likes season one. Vic Rattlehead and dude, you are going to make our heads explode. I love it. Thank you so much for this super chat. Oh boy. Oh, listen to that. We have
Short
a cork
answer.
being popped.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Belgariad is a great book. I remember finding those, I think it was 82, 83, and picking up those paperbacks and racing through them, putting them
Easy
in
read.
context. Yeah, exactly. And see, then we start talking about, well, who stole from who? One could say that, but not as good as the Wheel of Time. I agree with that. I think the Wheel of Time, the first 3 books, if you're going to start a new fantasy series, if you want to have a hell of a lot of fun, the first 3 books are fantastic. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to say all of them. I'm just going to say you can say 3 books. It's a good start. And then if you want to read the other 12 or 11, depending on how you look at it, fantastic reads too. Mike, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say the first 5 books. Yeah, first 5 books are awesome.
Okay, very fair. Very fair. I just didn't want to scare people off because honestly, that's what kept me away from the Wheel of Time for so long.
I mean, they're all good. They're all good. But I mean, the first 5 are 100 out of 100. And then, the quality goes up and down, but still maintains an A. It never dropped below an A.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and Mike has said it before, purple prose in some of the middle books. You just kind of page through that and you get onto the story and it's fantastic. So, but to answer Vic Rattlehead N's comments on this, do we think Sanderson betrayed the fans with false advertising and hype? Yes. I am not going to be the first. Okay, I was going to say I'm not going to. Mike, go ahead.
Sanderson's a piece of. Well, how much do you like your channel here? You've already been warned once today. I mean,
we like it enough not to talk about deletion, self-deletion,
okay.
Can I jump in for 1 second? I don't want to be annoying, but I want to welcome Toxic Man Flu to the Wolf Brothers.
Oh my God, Toxic Man Flu! Hold on. Yeah.
Hail.
Dude, Toxic, you and I have Twittered at each other so many times over the years. I've checked your stuff out. Thank you for jumping on the channel. This one's for you, my wolf brother. Yeah, and that's the challenge of Restream is sometimes you press a button and because of the lag, you don't know if it worked or not. I'm guessing that worked. So there we go. Hail to you, Toxic Man Flu. Welcome aboard. Dude, reach out to me on Twitter. Let's talk about next weekend. So, and that's the same thing for anybody in chat. If you have a channel on YouTube, reach out to me on Twitter or Getter or Minds. We are all small and upcoming channels. We all should support each other. It's a crazy world. Let's all have fun together like this, like Maxfield showing up on the show.
And he's now in our group chat on Twitter.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, so this guy's getting his 400 Indian rupees worth on this question. So Mike, you would answered it. So do you think Sanderson betrayed the fans with false advertising and hype? I see Nathan pumping his pipe and taking very large swallows of bourbon.
Yeah, he wants some of this.
What do you think?
He wants some of this.
I'm sorry. I lost my focus there. What was the question?
Okay, no more bourbon.
And by focus, I mean,
yes. Oh yeah, I get it. No, I get it. So no, Nathan, do you think Brandon Sanderson betrayed the fans with false advertising and hype related to Wheel of Time?
I think yes, and he's tried to be very measured with it. So there's an element of being disingenuous with it. And I think Brian's Gate mentioned it in the chat. He's playing the Hollywood game, which is really unfortunate because when you do that, you have to sit there and play everything with kid gloves. And there's no way that a man who writes as well as he does looks at the Wheel of Time or the Spokes of Woke show and says, wow, that's really good, except for the last episode and except for Parent killing his made-up wife. There's no way that you can sit there. I don't write, and I can sit there and say, wow, that's written like complete garbage.
Yeah, I mean that was
Red's at his level.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and that was the difference between the statement he made in late November, because all he said was Perrin shouldn't have killed his wife. Perrin maybe should have killed Master Luhan. He didn't like, and this is in November when the show first came out, he didn't like what happened to Matrim. Now here we are in January. He really hates what he did to Perrin, and that he's also starting to chirp about how he didn't like what happened to Egwene and Nynaeve, especially in the finale. So I agree with that. Zax, do you have a comment on this about Brandon Sanderson potentially not representing a fan's best interest?
Yeah, he 100% isn't. He wants to get his books turned into movies, and he's trying to make as much money as he possibly can, and he's trying to be careful about what he says to protect that, while at the same time giving signals to the fans that he's actually on our side. When I think if he was on our side, there's more he could have done.
Yeah.
He referenced certain parts of the plot he didn't like and that he would have changed, but he clearly didn't push hard enough to have them changed. It wasn't that important to him.
It's true. He only wrote 3 books of the 15-book series. He was designated by Robert Jordan's widow to finish the works of her beloved husband that he had put a decade of his life into. Max, have you read anything by Brandon Sanderson at all? Have you read the Mistborn series or anything like that?
You know, unfortunately, I can't say I have. So this is where you guys really shine, and where your expertise comes in, because I'm enthralled by some of the things that you guys have been talking about. So it just reaffirms that I do need to look over the series as well. And real quick, Flaccid, I did drink on that last. So I know he. Over on a live stream on my channel, my camera tends to turn off every now and then, and we have made it a game that every time it turns off, we drink. So,
oh, dude, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So,
Max, I will say that if you don't want to get into the book quite yet, you can get the comic that. The guy who did the comic for Wheel of Time.
Great.
But
it's great.
Chuck
It's
Dixon.
awesome.
Yeah.
Chuck Dixon, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Chuck Dixon is one of my favorite Punisher writers.
It's really good. It's actually really, and Mike, there it is.
Yeah.
Mike's holding it up.
Oh my God, that looks beautiful. Okay.
And Mike actually
awesome.
Before Mike and I started.
Faithful, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Before Mike and I started streaming, he did a video on Robert Jordan, who created the Wheel of Time, was so specific about how the characters should look, what they should be wearing, what they're doing. Dude, this is pure. This is not interpretive dance, man. This is the straight up dope stuff. So
go with the comics, Max.
You guys have no idea how excited I like. You see me
good.
like physically actually excited. I
Dude,
love,
it's good stuff. It's so good.
I love finding a new series because then I tend to just binge watch it. You know, so thank you for the. For
I do not endorse any criminal behavior.
Of course not.
At all. Anyone who does such a thing should be taken out and beaten with a stick. But if you have a large wooden vessel with sails and you like to spend your time on the open water,
and
there are ways to obtain treasure.
Gentlemen,
but I would never do that, and all you assholes in the chat who do stuff like that should not do that.
Of course not. And I hail, from the 7 seas, from my Viking heritage, and have have pillaged many of those open waters. So I would never encourage anyone to be
hold on. There's some black SUVs that just pulled up outside. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. It's just Paramount Plus.
Of the whammin'.
Oh, it's Paramount. That's what that logo says.
It's just Paramount Plus. Don't worry about it. Yeah. No, they're going to come in and issue you a citation for misgendering them. It's no big deal. So,
the comics are so well done; it makes you angry. After
that's
watching the show.
That's the thing.
The visuals are so good.
It's the way to adapt an IP. It really is.
Zax, that's what's so frustrating about all of this, right? Is that, when you have comic books, and though I haven't read the Wheel of Time series comic, any type of comic book that you see that is adapted into a film, you go, guys, what have you been doing? Because whenever someone is writing a film, and you can see this in the Lord of the Rings appendices, when they do the behind the scenes, is they're storyboarding every single scene. Peter Jackson went in there with a pen and pencil, and he drew physically each scene that he wanted, and that's what the producers and directors and screenwriters will do, is they will make these storyboards, and they look exactly like a comic book.
Yes.
So then you look at these comic books and you go, guys, your storyboard is right here.
Yes.
And you're not utilizing that. What is going on?
Now,
So
there are some exceptions, I think. I like Edge of Tomorrow. I have the manga, but I actually like the adaptation. I think they did a good job.
It's a great movie.
So there are times when they can adapt and it's not bad. I would even say good.
For sure.
This is why we have a great chat, because they know their stuff, and usually they know their stuff better than we do. And so we are just merely circus monkeys clapping, and these guys are actually producing great works of art. Vic Rattlehead in particular. Jordan personally okayed and edited Chuck Dixon almost every step of the way. And it's true. Mike OBG70 kept on posting things about how particular Jordan was, about how the characters, especially the Aes Sedai, were depicted. They were never to wear pants. They were to wear dresses. What did you get in Amazon's Wheel of Time? You got Aes Sedai in pants. Why? Because you know why we got that.
So I can add to this quickly by saying I was able to speak to Chuck Dixon about this, and he said Robert Jordan was so on top of this that he said it was barely an adaptation. Really, he was, because he would come back and he was okay. Well, it's Robert Jordan, right? What are you going to do? So it's very true. He was all over him.
Yeah, we need to keep talking about that thing with Chuck Dixon, Zach, and see. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But go ahead, Mike, Max.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, were they all in pantsuits or something, like the Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse new pantsuit that?
Absolutely, it was the Hillary
and
Clinton
suspenders.
It was the Hillary Clinton collection from Kmart. It was the polyester stretch pants, wide load cut. Oh Jesus, did I just say that? Never mind. Yeah.
That is horrifying. I'm so sorry that you've had to watch that and gone through that. So.
I'm just gonna say this. I briefed her back in 2004, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's something I never need to do again. So there we go.
A murder file.
Did she have hot sauce with her? Did she have a bottle of hot sauce?
No. I can neither confirm nor deny the Tabasco, and we'll just say that. So they didn't wear shawls. Again, the chat knows Robert Jordan. Rafe doesn't know Robert Jordan. The chat does. So no, Max, you were talking about the stages of grief, where we are with fandom, and we started to talk about Apple TV, and we got a little derailed, which is perfectly fine. It's just where we were going with all that, and you guys may not know this in chat, is that Apple TV actually won a bidding war to produce the Monsterverse. Now, what do we mean by the Monsterverse? We don't mean Dracula and the Swamp Thing and all that. We're talking about kaiju. We're talking about Godzilla and the Titans. And I don't know, Zax, if you have those queued up, I can pull them up. If not, from the Hollywood Reporter. Okay, so what this comes down to, and how this ties into comics, all of this unfortunately does, is that Apple TV, which we've talked about, has these shows. Nobody really seems to be watching them, and when they do watch them, they don't seem very good despite the money they spend on them. Well, the solution to all of this is to go with a hot property. I mean, Godzilla, the movie we got, what was it, 6 months ago, 9 months ago? Dude, that was a blockbuster. Everybody just wanted to see two monsters beating the living hell out of each other, not worrying about pronouns, not worrying about neo-Marxism or intersectional feminism. It was just a good, stupid time, right? So Apple TV figured out that maybe they should go ahead and get into something like that. And Zax, I don't know if you pull it up, otherwise I can do it.
I'm working on it.
It's okay. All right, I'm gonna pull it up.
I'm surprised you didn't have a fat blue-haired chick playing Godzilla, identifying as a lizard. Sorry, that's a kind of a hot take.
No, actually, it's not. And I'm sure if you went to Evergreen College, that would be the norm rather than not. And I can bust on Evergreen all I want because I live near them and put up with that bullshit. But so where we're going with all this is from the Hollywood Reporter, and this is recent. This is from January 20th. Godzilla and Kaiju Monster TV series in the works from Legendary and Apple. So sci-fi vet Chris Black, he worked on Star Trek Enterprise, which I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't like Enterprise at all. So that was Morningside number one to me, is going to be paired with comic book author Matt Fraction. And they're going to be the co-creators of this show. Now, I talked about this with Max before we started the stream. Max, what did you think about the work that Matt Fraction did? I think it was with Hawkeye, right?
Yeah, so we had briefly spoken about how Matt Fraction, his claim to fame really is the Hawkeye run, because previously Hawkeye had never really had a comic to himself. He had always been part of the Avengers, but never really had a story fleshing out the character, and Matt Fraction took the time to actually do that. And a lot of comic book fans love the street level hero, like Wolverine, Daredevil, Punisher. These are guys that hover above the rooftops and protect their city, like I said, the street level hero, if you will. And so he kind of took that and made Hawkeye that. And Matt Fraction, I do think, is a good writer. I don't think he's a bad writer. He is, however, married to the one and only Kelly Sue DeConnick, who we have mentioned.
Yeah.
So I don't know where, I don't know where he stands in the midst of all of this in the culture war in general. But I will say that, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you, Salty, or not, but a lot of comic book writers, editors, artists, mainly writers and editors, tend to now get these comic book titles as a way to enter Hollywood. And so I don't know if that is what Matt Fraction was intending to do here. But it sounds very much like he got into the comic book scene to then as a platform or as a stepping stone to Hollywood. And,
absolutely.
And that's what I'm worried about here. So yeah, I'd love to get your take on this.
Well, here's the thing. There was this horrible show. It was, oh Christ, I think it was on Sci-Fi, and what was it? Mags Visaggio. That comic book, nobody bought that comic book. And yet it went straight to a pretty decently sized budget show on science fiction. Everybody celebrated it because the creator was insert woke intersectional identity politics bingo card. Then the show was canceled and nobody said a damn thing. It was just like, oh, we're just going to sweep this under the rug and pretend this never happened. And then we're going to rinse and repeat. Now, you guys on the panel, Zax, Mike, Nathan, what do you guys, what do you think of what Max said? We all know what the hell Marvel has done to itself. I mean, what they should have really done is just locked all the doors to their building and burned it to the ground with themselves inside. At least their loved ones would have gotten an insurance policy. I mean, literally, there is nothing to salvage from what they've done to these characters, and now it's going into, we see it, Marvel Phase 4. I mean, look at what they're going to do with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. What characters are we getting in that movie that no one wanted? It's crazy to me. And Max, I'll allow you to talk about that. Is there anything that would excite you about seeing, oh God, America Chavez, the Marvels? I'm serious.
Yeah, it's very difficult because, and I think I'd mentioned this when we talked the other day briefly, but in Marvel and DC both, and I am in contact with a few editors over at a couple other publishing companies, and what we're seeing across the board right now is that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and
Yeah.
so you get the big Marvel, the Disney Marvel of the MCU promoting Doctor Strange the film, but then the editors and writers are writing about Doctor Strange dying. So then your comic book doesn't have Doctor Strange in it, and it
Yep.
has someone completely different. So
Yep.
there's a juxtaposition between the comic and the film. And a lot of people would say, well, they're like intentionally trying to do that. And I would argue that a lot of the times it's just plain ignorance. It's a lot of the editors and the producers of films and the editors of comic books are just kind of in this nebulous space of we just don't know what the hell is going on. Which is
all right. I'm gonna
Oh, go
bounce
ahead.
something off you with
Yeah,
what
of
you
course.
just said. So I want to. So check this out. So there's two different results that usually occur in that situation. The first thing is incompetence.
Mm.
Now, incompetence means that you don't know what you're doing, but you know the difference between right and wrong. And if you had the competency to stop it, you would. Negligence is knowing that what you're doing is wrong and doing it anyway. Do you think in this case, where does that fall for these editors? Do you think it's incompetence? They just don't know any better? Or do you think it's negligence where they're just kind of going along with it because they don't make any money anyway? Who cares?
Oh man, that's such a great question, brother.
I'm a dick. Sorry.
No. And it's a beautiful. I mean, it really is a beautiful depiction of the kind of struggle that a lot of editors are having right now. Because I do believe that there are editors right now that are seeing this that can't really do anything about it, or if they do anything about it, they'll lose their job. So I would err on the side of. Excuse me for I've had a little bit too many of these, so I will ask again.
Have another one.
It was I know you said it was incompetence or
negligence. Negligence being knowing between the difference between right and wrong and doing wrong anyway.
Correct. I would err on the side of negligence because their fear right now is that if they stray from the echo chamber, they will lose their job. And currently, they are already being paid less, like so much less.
Dude, it's crazy.
Than what they would be.
Checks. Yeah.
And so they know that what they're doing is going to promote the echo chamber. And if they know that that is what is going to keep their job, they're going to keep pushing this stuff out. And the echo chamber is a lot of their friends, and they don't want to disrupt a lot of the friends that are writers and creators. So the writers are going, hey, excuse me, you're going to promote this book, right? Like everything in here looks good. We're going to publish it. And a lot of the time the editors know exactly what these writers are doing. And they're going, yep. You know what? You're right. I'm not going to change anything. Let's publish it. And that is where that comes in. Not so much the indifference towards it, but the negligence of what is actually happening.
Well, it's cowardice. But see, and this is where I start painting things in a broad brush. I do think there is a certain amount of socioeconomic structure to that feeds into that. And I think part of it too is generational. Come on, Gen X. People talk shit about us all the time. I'm kind of a little over that. There's a lot of us that have been fighting. We just don't talk about it all the time. I'll just say that. But in this case, it's not just like, we know about the whisper networks. I respect Ethan Van Sciver. Do I always believe everything Ethan Van Sciver says? No. But I'll tell you what. I have a lot of respect for Eric July. For young Ripa. And what I am hoping for, and I actually Twittered at him the other night, was he was talking about getting the physical copy of his new comic book series in the Ripaverse. And I am nobody's bitch and I am nobody's shill. But I'm going to tell you this: if young Ripa can pull off even half of what it is that he has put out there as far as what he wants to accomplish, I am 100% in, because that just means Young Ripper will get better as thing goes on. His Ripperverse will be expanding. And we know there are artists, there are inkers from DC that were so tired and frustrated by what DC was doing to Superman that they actually came on and started working for Eric July. So I'm really encouraged by that. Like, you know, that's a guy who's not just going to sit around and complain and be doom and gloom. This is a guy who saved up his money and is putting it where his mouth is and actually starting to do what it is that we all want done, which is replacing the current corrupt paradigm.
Absolutely.
Speaking of DC, it's important. Like, Kelly Sue DeConnick couldn't sell an Aquaman comic the year that Aquaman the movie made $1 billion.
Yeah.
She couldn't sell Ice in the Sahara. I mean, she couldn't.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
Oh yeah.
Don't read
the remix.
VBS.
And if you don't like my politics,
oh God,
don't
yes.
buy my
Careful,
book.
here come Paramount Plus execs.
Don't read them.
YouTube police.
There you go.
No,
This is
keep
so
going.
funny.
No, dude, let's
All right.
go
Good night,
with
folks.
this.
It was good talking with y'all. Thanks for that.
Oh,
I think
true.
Paramount Plus owns the rights to that video.
Oh,
even
I'm
if
sure they would say
even if they
do.
don't, yeah, even if they don't, they're gonna strike us down.
Find some way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, the Ripperverse I have faith in as long as it holds true to storytelling. You know,
man.
unfortunately, I have seen a lot of Kickstarters, Indiegogos, whatever you want to call it, crowdfunded comic books that go, hey, you know what? We see what's being done to our beloved heroes, so we're going to
Yeah.
do something different. And what then they end up doing is putting their own political ideology into it and saying, well, screw these other fucking, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they put their political ideology into it, and then no one, and then they split their audience in half again. So it's the
Yeah.
exact same thing that the other side is doing. So as long as Ripa stays true to, hey, no political ideology here, like none whatsoever. I want to tell stories about characters, about loss, about heroism, about whatever it is, about you know, anything that makes storytelling great. I'm all in. But once it starts to become a battle of like, well, I'm going to push
Red, blue.
my narrative. Yes, exactly. Like you said, to, you know, to counteract this one, that's when I tend to be a little bit hesitant, because I like to say, listen, no, the reason why we're doing this is not to push another narrative. It's to push fandom, storytelling, you know, great characterization and you know, character stories and, you know, the
Hero's
delineation
journey.
between, yes, of course, the hero's journey. So that is a hot take. I think a lot of people might say, well, that's not necessarily true, but that's just what I believe. So as long as Ripa stays true to that, I'm all in, brother.
I think that's really fair. I mean, I really, really do. I mean, like I said, I'm not anybody's seal. I don't sit there and clap on command. I'm nobody's bitch. I'm really not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just, you know what I'm going to do? After 2 years of not being optimistic about things and knowing what was going to happen next and being right about it, I'm going to allow myself the luxury of just a little bit. I'm going to allow some optimism on this one. I think young Ripa, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's going to do the right thing, and I hope he does the right thing. So hail to him for taking a damn chance. But Max, you are 100% right. We just want good stories, good characters, no ideology, regardless of where it's coming from. And the only caveat I would have to say to that is, if you challenge hypocrisy and globalism, I am 100% behind that type of ideology. That's all I'm going to say. So let me get to the super chat from Paul Wolfley, on fire tonight. Hail to you, sir. It's a $5 super chat that's probably going to get our live stream nuked. Hillary has no street credit. Fair enough. She also doesn't have good IT people. Hot sauce is slang for having a weapon in your purse, not actual hot sauce. Please go away, angry fat pantsuit lady. Nope, I read that wrong. Please go away, angry lady. Hail to you, Paul Wolfley. Let me get you something from the bag of salty Texas Sea tricks.
We travel light That is handsome, Orc.
Yeah, I mean, Orc, I could see it. I'm just gonna say that I could see Orc, But yeah.
Yep.
You guys, we've been going for the combined 2 streams, probably getting on 3 hours, and I went over to be respectful of everybody's time. How are we doing in the chat? I'm trying to keep up on this. Oh my God, we've got 18 people still hanging with us. You guys are the best. You guys are the best in the chat. Xenomorph, Punk Waddle. I'm looking at everybody out here who's still been hanging with us. Brian's Gate, Paul Wolfley has ever. It's just TRW 1974. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging with us on this Tuesday night.
They have been awesome.
Yeah.
And
So
Godzilla's
really,
preferred pronouns are GTFO and FUBAR.
yeah. I mean, yeah. If I had one more bourbon, I'd say something else that would probably cause my channel to be lost. But so we have Chris Black, who worked on my least favorite Star Trek property, and then we have Mr. Kelly Sue DeConnick, has the co-creators to this legendary kaiju show. And, here's the thing. It's crazy because, again, I've never seen anything on Apple TV. I've never heard anybody going, oh, my God, you have to watch this thing on Apple TV. And I'm like, but you have Godzilla. It's just big monsters. And the way I remember Godzilla, it's people in bad rubber suits beating the hell out of each other with bad models. That was my Godzilla.
And it was the greatest thing ever.
It was the greatest thing ever. Do you guys have any special memories around Godzilla or kaiju that you want to come up with? And let's
hell yeah. It's me and my dad
ahead.
on a Sunday watching either it was old Bruce Lee movies or it was Godzilla stuff. Godzilla, Gamera, Mothra, all those guys. And I just loved it.
That's
we just sit there for hours and hours and hours, just watch all that crap. And back then I thought it was the best. I never seen anything like it. It was just amazing.
What about you, Max? Were you into anything regarding Godzilla and the kaiju stuff?
I actually wasn't. So I'll let you guys take the reins on this one because I didn't have too many fond memories regarding this, but the fact that you mentioned earlier, brother, that you and your dad were watching this on Sunday mornings, that's like, dude, that is the heart and soul of this stuff.
Pure gold.
And yeah,
Pure
exactly.
gold.
So
Yeah,
I'll let you guys
deal.
take. Yeah, I'll let you guys take it because I don't have those type of experiences with this property. So.
And Mike, I didn't mean to jump all over you. We got a little bit of lag. Please continue. Was there a particular kaiju movie or a particular Godzilla matchup that spoke to you, where that was your favorite that you watched with your dad?
Well, I would say probably. See, I'm trying to remember the name because when you're a kid, you pronounce things differently.
Oh, so, no one's judging you for pronunciation.
No. I'm trying to remember. I'm actually trying to remember. It's the giant turtle. Is it Gamera or Gamera?
Samarion.
Shut up. It's Michelangelo. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Leonardo. It was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Radioactive.
Yeah, Gamera. Gamera. Love that matchup. That was my favorite thing ever. I still remember it like.
I think I missed a super chat. You guys keep talking. What about you, Nathan? Did you were you into the kaiju Godzilla scene at all?
I was not. I look back on it and I can at least appreciate it just for its silly simplicity in presenting something very basic. And I just remember seeing all the Japanese people hiding away in little bunkers and watching these people fight, or these monsters fight, and I'd laugh at it, but at the same time, if it's a decent basic story, then why the hell not? I mean, you got fathers and their sons like Mike making memories that are extremely precious to them around these simple natured IPs. They don't need to be more complicated than what they've been designed to
sharing
originate.
screen.
They really don't. And simple good versus evil type stuff, you don't have to necessarily give a backstory to the bad guy to sit there and make him relatable. Just have evil clearly defined and a battle for it. Nothing wrong with that.
I love that kind of depiction. Like you said, it's very simple. Good versus evil. It's this. It's just a tale that you can really turn your mind off for a little while and just enjoy the action or enjoy the silliness of it. But really, even it goes down to just like the basic storytelling of, like you said, good versus evil. So I think that's why a lot of people really enjoy this type of property. And what's funny is that Godzilla versus Kong was really the first film during the COOF that kind of blew up, right? And then subsequently everything else after that. But that was really the first one that we kind of saw that people were just like, yeah, man, this is kind of what we've been looking for this whole time, is just kind of this fun, exciting battle. But yeah.
And I think that was for me. I wasn't even a big Godzilla fan, but I watched that one anyways, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. I went to Godzilla 1999. I went to the midnight showing, opening day, and I loved it so much I fell asleep. So, not a big history with Godzilla. Matthew Broderick is not the right lead for that movie, but I did like that. I had fun with Godzilla Kong, so I would go back and watch that series again. So, why would you have a success like this? That you're, like what Max said, let us out of this COOF thing, and then hand it over to Kelly Sue DeConnick. I mean, I know it's not to her, but it's to her.
It is to her. Let's be really honest about it. I mean, honest to God, I just, no disrespect to Matt. Well, maybe there is to Matt Fraction, but it's when you are attached to a person like that in your industry. I mean, if I were going to hire somebody, let's say in my career field, and then I knew that their significant other, regardless of gender, was a wackadoodle who destroyed everything around them, I would anticipate the person who came to work with me would either be shell-shocked or absolutely carry the same things forward into whatever the career field I work is in, Now, maybe that's me and maybe it's old school, but I don't think that's like completely off, in wild third base land,
go ahead.
And Kelly Sue DeConnick, that quote that you had played on that video, she'll be the first one to sit there and jump all over you for not liking her stuff at the same time. So it just, screw you.
It's just like, what's her name who directed the woke Charlie's Angels? Do you remember that when Charlie's Angels came out and said this? Oh God, what Elizabeth Banks? I remembered it. She came out and said this movie isn't for men. This movie isn't for men. And then I think what was it in Hollywood Reporter? It's like, this movie isn't made for you. Then the second week, nobody went to the movie. It's like, why aren't men coming to see? And it's like, well,
it's like, oh, okay, thanks for saving me $10.
I know. I don't think we need to get Sherlock Holmes on this case. I think it's a real simple answer. You told us this wasn't meant for us. We're like, well, thanks for letting us know. And then to attack us for not showing up, it's, I don't know. To me, that's peak narcissism. But
did you mean to say Enola Holmes? Is that what you meant to say?
Well, we could do no. I actually meant Sherlock. Someday we're gonna have a conversation about that because, dude, if you guys haven't read the original Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes books, it's eerie. I'm almost convinced that Conan Doyle was a time traveler because if you read those books right now, that were written in the 1880s or whatever it was, it sounds like you're having a conversation from current day. It's kind of weird. Just to throw that out there. One thing I do want to talk about is Matthew Broderick in Godzilla. Okay, fair assessments, but we have never had this conversation before. What do we think about Matthew Broderick in the movie Lady Hawk? How many people have seen that one? What do you think?
I like that one.
Yeah?
Good.
Max,
I actually just watched it a month ago.
I love that movie. Max, have you seen...
I'm gonna pull my millennial card and say I haven't seen that one. So,
oh, dude, it's a really good movie. It has Rutger Hauer, and
who's amazing.
Oh God, a young Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's true love, dude. I would not steer you wrong, brother. And it's young cursed love separated by an evil magician's curse. And Matthew Broderick is I think he's a runaway from a monastery, caught in the middle of this crazy battle of redemption where Rutger Hauer is the falsely accused knight who lost his land and his woman, and it's like, oh, it is perfect 80s cheese.
Yeah.
I really like this movie, dude.
And 80s cheese, meaning the soundtrack does not fit the movie.
Oh my God.
I will say that.
Yeah.
By any means. But the story in itself, I mean, you know, some of Matthew Broderick's lines kind of take you out of the setting, you know, but overall though, it's a good basic story and it's a good love story. This is actually Hollywood. You know, Hollywood, pay attention. This is how you write romance. Not just, hey, let's bang and and then all of a sudden we mean something to each other.
Yeah.
You know,
and the woman,
it has all the elements. It's great.
Yeah, and the woman was undeniably feminine, yet she was an absolute badass who fought for her true love. And it's a great story. I can't recommend it enough.
Right, Dr. Man Flu and Nerdscape.
Jumping. Godzilla versus Megalon was peak entertainment. Let me go ahead and give you some love out of the deep toy chest over here. Here you go.
Target that explosion and fire.
Fire!
That's awesome.
Yeah, for the dude, I make all this stuff myself, the countdown counter, all that stuff, dude. It's just fun to knock together. Thank you so much, Taker 610. Taker 610 has been on our live streams and in my comment section from the very beginning. You guys, I know your names, and I remember you guys showing up, and it means the world to me. Thank you so much for being here, Taker 610. What do you think about that, Mike? You are our resident kaiju expert this evening. Godzilla versus Megalon. What do you think about that?
How did I become the expert? I'm not sure, because I saw it one time when I was 9 years old.
You had a heartwarming story. You had a heartwarming story with Godzilla.
Just
and your
facts,
dad.
you know. I saw it when I was a kid and liked it. I mean,
thanks a lot for showing up tonight, Mike. I know you got to go. Dude, thank you. Yeah, performance anxiety, absolutely. No, I mean, like, I love all those movies. Here's the thing: I know Mothra, but I don't know all of the intricacies of the kaiju sort of lexicon. I really don't. But I love watching those movies. I really do, and I like the older ones with the rubber suit and the bad effects and slow motion.
Like, and all the modeled cities that crumble apart, and
yes, and they're obviously balsa wood, and
they're all hollow. There's nothing in them. Yeah,
I would rather have bad
practice. You're so
excited about this, Mike.
I'm just.
He's the resident expert. Yeah,
that's funny.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm the resident expert.
You didn't know anything.
No, but honestly, there's nothing. There's nothing more fun than gigantic monsters beating the shit out of each other. I mean, it's just basic fun.
Agreed.
You know, Max, what are you doing with your arm?
Oh, sorry. I'm just resting it on yeah. Sorry about that.
It's okay. No, dude, I didn't mean to put your body limbs to sleep over here. That's probably Mike's fault, though. Let me do this Paul Wolfley.
He's been standing the whole time.
I just like to hold dumbbells out and to the side of me. No, I'm kidding.
I figured.
That's okay.
Stealth workout.
Damn
I was gonna say, yeah. You could grab Kelly Sue DeConnick and Matt Fraction and hold them out all day, man. I'll tell you. So anyway, Paul Wolfley, hail to you, brother.
That's a lot of weight.
So this, honestly, I think, Max, this was probably directed to you. He said, most manly weekend was guard duty, was a private one. E8 took care of entertainment. The other E8 food, ate steak, watching Charles Bronson on VHS.
Yes.
Death wish for the win. Death wish for the win.
Awesome.
You know, it's funny because I was introduced to Charles Bronson from Red Letter Media. They had
no way.
A Charles Bronson film, and I was just laughing the entire time of just like how epic, some of this. He would just kill people on
Bronson.
Demand,
Oh, it's great.
Bronson and Steve McQueen, I think it was, in The Mechanic.
Oh.
I gotta watch that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
The Magnificent Seven. he was great. I think he was in the Magnificent Seven with Steve McQueen. That was badass. Yeah.
But yeah, brother, no.
They were also paired in The Great Escape.
Yes, that's the one. Go ahead, Max.
Oh, I was just gonna say to the previous super chat for Paul. Yeah, man. So I was an 02, and then I was promoted to 03. My last few weeks of being in the Corps. So the enlisted side of the house is a little bit different to me. However, my enlisted like my E8s were some of the most generous and life-giving dudes that I've ever worked with. They took care of every one of our Marines. Like, I shit you not, they were always on call to do stuff like this that you were doing, whether it was entertainment or food. Those E8s that I worked with, anywhere from staff sergeant, gunnery sergeant, first sergeant, they were they had their phone ready, at the ready to answer any of my Marines calls and then call me immediately after. Yeah, dude, what you guys do is beyond comprehension. So this sounds like a really fun night, and that's exactly what a lot of soldiers and Marines love, are just these fun entertainment nights of just guys just fucking watching these great films and kicking back, having some beer and steak. That's what it's all about. And Flaccid, I see you saying
important release.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah,
I see the chat. Flaccid, enlisted are better than officers, and I would be hard pressed to believe that you are right in saying so. And I was an officer, so, and I'll even say it. But
I knew some really great senior NCOs that were in the Coast Guard that I would spend time with. They were absolute savages off duty, but they were so dedicated to their men and women. That's all I'll say about that. But this is for you, Paul Wolfley, yet again, brother. God, I'm so happy to have you win our chats. Thank you so much for supporting us, and thank you so much for opening up to us, and especially Max tonight. This one's for you.
Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the red dawn.
Gives me chills.
Dude, every time, and then they ride out because the doors have been battered down, and they ride down that narrow strip of bridge through the orc army just as Gandalf is. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm totally nerdgasming right here. But, let me compose myself and have a cigarette after that one. Right. Absolutely.
Like a towel.
Oh,
some tissues somewhere around here.
I wouldn't go that far, but if you guys need to go off screen for a while, you guys do what you need to over there.
You can like dwarves. It's cool.
Hey, dude, when
you might put your beard back on.
Dude, when you're like 6'4", or dude, when you're 6'4", 6'5", virtually every woman you meet is a dwarf. It's crazy. Yeah. Like, tall women are always saying, "I can't meet a tall man," and then it's like, well, dude, like, where are they? They're all with the short guys. Let's be honest about it. So
Mike's ready to go.
Hey, yeah,
you're gonna have to toss me.
Yeah. Well,
here's mine.
Yeah. And my ox. So, Zax, you actually sent me one more topic. We should probably cover this and then think about winding down. Do you want me to throw it on the screen? And this has to do with Netflix and the One Piece production. Do you want me to throw it up on the screen?
Sure. That wasn't me, though.
Who sent me that? Hold on. You guys are crazy. Godzilla sent me that. I don't know who Godzilla is. No, that's what it says. Who the hell's in my chat? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm not kidding, right? Yeah. Okay. Well,
Interesting.
apparently Paramount has sent hackers in to come into our private stream, so that's kind of hysterical. But oh Lord. So let's go ahead. Go ahead.
That would be Mike. I think that would be Mike.
Mike, was that you, dude? Gimli, unmute yourself.
Mike.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Did you send that article on One Piece?
It may have been me.
Okay.
All right. Resident Godzilla expert.
Yeah, I'm the resident Godzilla expert.
Godzilla expert.
Of course, I sent you the thing on One Piece.
All right, Mike. All right, funny dwarf man. Peter Dinklage's illegitimate father or illegitimate brother. Why don't you cover this because you sent it? So talk to us
I
about
literally just found something on the interwebs and thought you guys might want to see it. Let me see if I can share a screen.
Okay.
I think this screen's Paramount Plus's homepage.
Oh, I'm gonna punch you in the head. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, so Netflix has started filming the One Piece live action adaptation. Now, to be fair, I've only seen the first episode of the One Piece anime after everybody on Twitter demands that everybody else watch it.
It's true.
So I thought they were all joking. I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm sure the first episode's going to be amazing. Meh. I don't see what the big deal is. But anyways, Netflix is in fact they've started filming. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. They got, those of you that are One Piece fans, you should be happy to know it is going.
Anybody on the panel, have you are you anime fans? Are you One Piece fans? If not One Piece, are there other anime shows out there that you are super stoked about? Because I always like to hear from people about anime. I actually, back in the day, really watched a lot of the 80s stuff that I don't even remember the names of, and it was on VHS. So these dudes would have like these 20 VHS tape collections of crazy anime, and it was cool, but I was so westernized with what my idea of what comics and animation should be that I probably didn't appreciate it as much as I should have.
Punk Waddle's a Gundam fan.
Oh, nice.
Oh, dude.
This is the first I've heard of One Piece.
I'm afraid that if I do mention my favorite anime, that somehow Paramount will find out about it and then try and adapt it.
Okay.
So
the hit squads are on the way.
Is it Goblin Slayer?
It is not. One of my favorites has always been and will always be Trigun. Vash the Stampede is is a excellent anime, and I think they did a film as well a while ago. But I think this might be a case of just kind of what we saw with Cowboy Bebop, though they didn't make it. I guess you could say that they made it woke, but more so, and the thing that was to me that was even more insulting was that the character deconstruction of all of the different characters in the storylines. So, everyone can say, oh, well, they put representation in there, but arguably, Jet was the best actor out of all three of them. So
True.
Though they put in representation, it didn't take away the story for me. It was really how they wrote it, and that to me was the biggest offense. So I'm afraid that if they do this whole thing with One Piece, people will blame it towards the woke crowd. But I think it might be that, like you and I were talking earlier, Salty, that negligence of the writers of just being
dude, yeah,
well, people seem to love One Piece. How can we ruin it? But I don't know.
Yep.
That's just my own.
Another vehicle for their agenda.
Right.
Zach sent me something in the private chat, and Zach, I'll let you speak to that actually, because I've spoken to Tom before, but this is your lead. You run with it, man.
Yeah, Tom Conkle, who's been on a number of shows. I'm sure most people here know who he is. He did the dub voice for Trigun.
Oh,
he did a ton of anime.
I know, right?
Oh my god!
So, but that was him. Yeah,
that's pretty cool stuff, right?
That's so cool. I'm kind of fanboying over here. That's awesome.
I know. That's why I always give him. I love when he does his music live streams, and it's so loopy. And I try to send him some crazy stuff. And Yeah, he's a pretty solid dude. I'd actually love to stream with Tom on something that we both really love and care about.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun as hell. Speaking of streaming with cool dudes, I just reached out to Brightest Day and asked him if he wanted to jump on. Brightest Day was actually my first live stream guest ever. I strong armed him into coming onto the show. This is a true story. He had zero. He had zero F's to give about Wheel of Time, and he watched the first show. He watched the first show and came on, and it was such a perfect counterbalance to the fanboy stuff that was going on with Zax and Mike and I, because he presented the objective as somebody who loves science fiction, who love fantasy, but could also look at the show objectively and go, this is what I, as a person who don't know what this is about, like or don't like about this show. So Brightest Day, dude, I know you're like a biscuit and a half away from cracking that 1K, and I'm praying and pulling for you, brother. Dude, this is like your wife has been in labor for 72 hours, man. It's time so we need to do some type of intervention. Subscribe to Brightest Day. He's an amazing dude. He puts out the hottest ginger videos almost on a daily basis. Don't hold it against him. He's still a good YouTuber. So hail to you, Brightest
I just did.
There you go. And Max, you were hanging out with Brightest the other day, dude, and you guys seem like you had a good time. I'm going to ask you this, Max, are you a Battlestar Galactica fan? Like, are you OG BSG or reimagining BSG, or are you indifferent to it?
I'm not actually. I haven't. Not that I'm not a fan. I just haven't gotten a chance to watch through the series and really like get involved in the lore of it. Brightest Day and I actually fell kind of into the Warhammer 40K.
I heard that. I was listening to that stuff.
Yeah. So that was our kind of sci-fi rabbit hole that we went down. We met in Vegas, and at the time I had just a few videos on my channel. It was very, very early stages. And then Brightest Day invited me on to his channel to do an interview, and we just, we had a blast. So Brightest Day is one of the biggest, one of the main supporters of this whole fellowship, this whole YouTube community. It's funny because I'll go from like stream to stream, in the chat, and he tends to always be there. And I'm like,
oh, I know.
How are you like 30 different places at once? It's amazing. So he really does give the best support to everyone. So like you said, Salty, when he hits that 1,000, all of us are going to be kind of celebrating the birth of this, great channel that really needs to be recognized.
He's a solid dude, and he knows his BSG, and he is straight up good people. He really is. And like I said, he came on my very first live stream, and I'm just some yokel, dude in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, get on my show or else. And he was kind enough to do it. And I will never, ever forget that. So every time Brightest Day posts a video, especially the semi-clothed ginger female ones, I support him to the max. But no. So Brightest dude, if you ever want to stream, you're always welcome. You keep breaking my heart, though. I keep asking him, and he's like, he's too busy, and he's got a headache, and he's got to wash his hair. So okay, whatever. But someday we will stream again. So hail to
YouTube drama. YouTube drama.
Oh, dude. Something happened. I'm not going to go down that road. All I know is something happened with dudes that I like, and I didn't even know what happened. And I'm like, I'm not even going to pay attention. That's all I'm going to say. I just know a really big channel got with one of the very first people that I ever subscribed to, who is a big channel but not as big, and apparently there was some drama, and then it went radio silent. And it's like, I'm so new to YouTube, I don't understand what the hell people are fighting over. I'm just gonna say that. So
I think I know who you're alluding to.
You know exactly who I'm alluding to if you think you do. Yeah,
right.
It's just weird. And dude, I mean, one thing we don't do on my channel is we don't do drama. Like I don't give a shit about that. That's why we didn't cover G4 and Frosk. I mean, honestly, it's like, I've been over Frosk and hearing about Frosk for about 3 weeks now, and that's no disrespect to anybody else, but I can tell you what Frosk is, who Frosk was, and the depth of what Frosk encompasses was in about 3 seconds. And you know, no shame to her game. She does her. That's cool. If I'm misgendering her, okay. But it's like, it just, man, I want to talk about other stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, no disrespect to anybody who's covering it else. I'm just gonna say that.
I like the parody of her on Friday Night Tights better than
No,
the actual one.
Chrissy Meyer, dude, that first week when she did that, dude, I was choking
I
on
cried.
my pizza. My dog got up and left the room because I was wheezing, and it's just like, it was so good, Max. That's totally it. It was, and then Perry Chan,
Zipper, stapler, file cabinet.
Dude, file cabinet. Perry
So
Chan.
good.
Before Perry Chan got big, I befriended him on Twitter, and I was twittering him all the time. This is a couple of years ago. Really nice dude. Just gonna say that. And I'm not big timing anything. Perry doesn't know me. It's just, you know, you just reach out to people. There's other people on Twitter who do really cool stuff, like Renee, who does really cool memes for Friday Night Tights all the time. I talk to that cat all the, you know, we share shit all the time. So it's a crazy small world in this fandom that we have. There are some really nice people and some really nice, weird people, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I mean, Max, what has been your experience? I mean, you're going to bust through that 1,000 probably by the end of next month, if not within 2 weeks, because you were on my channel. But there, how do you like that? How do you like that?
Yeah,
Dude,
I can't get better promotion than that, brother.
Dude,
You're not
come on,
wrong.
I gotta give you shit. No, dude, you are gonna bust through 1,000 probably within 72 hours. You really are. And what is it that you've see? This is where it's gonna get a little weird. What have you found to be weird? What have you found to be weird about the whole YouTube experience? Like, is there anything that you had assumptions about starting a channel? Because I know I did, and then you start doing it, and you're like, whoa, this is totally weird. Have you had any experiences like that?
Oh, absolutely, man. And I think everyone does, and everyone will have their own different experiences that they bring to the table and own kind of biases that they come to the table with, because everyone has a different experience when they create their YouTube channel. Real quick, I will say Xenomorph, because I am a huge 40K fan. He says, what is your favorite 40K faction? Black Templars and Space Wolves, brother. Those are my two armies that I play and that I collect and build. And yeah, Space Wolves and Black Templars. But that's neither here nor there.
No, but I will say this. I will shout out Brightest Day covers a lot of that stuff that Max just answered. So after the stream, go watch the videos that Brightest Day did, because Max talks about it in detail. Sorry to interrupt, Max. Just want to shout out my boy Brightest. So
absolutely, yeah. Brightest had some great questions for me a few months back when we did that interview. So but yeah, what I will say, one of the things that I noticed that was kind of odd when I first started this was that I'm talking to, and Gary has mentioned this, alluded to this before, I'm talking to my porcelain figures in my room. If you think about it, you know, whenever I do my videos, you know, I script something out, or I do my research, I put a few hours into really making sure that it, you know, the production value is there, that I want to get all my points across, that everything is logical and fair, but also very to the point. And then I do it, and then I'm like, that was kind of odd, because I'm kind of talking to this amorphous, you know, little thing, and I'm looking at the camera going, no one's listening to me right now. I'm talking to myself, you know. So
I know, dude, I know.
You do kind of have this odd realization that, you know, it is very funny and very odd. However, the opposite of that is then, once you receive the feedback from people, whether it's negative or positive, you get the dislikes or the upvotes, or you get comments, or you get people subscribing to you like crazy, and you go, holy shit, like this is working, you know, like I've been talking into a little lens here, and people have watched it, you know. So it is surreal when you think about just kind of the technology and what we're able to do with our voices right now. So as cliche as that sounds, I think that has been the biggest realization for me, is that I talk into a microphone, who knows who hears me, and then you get the feedback and you go, well, that's pretty cool. Hopefully I can, do something here. So
yeah, I mean, and so I mean, all of us, see, one thing I try not to do is look at my subscriber count every day, because that's a sure way to lose your mind. And YouTube does what YouTube does. I'm just gonna say this: nobody knows that more than Brightest Day. Like they have. I'm convinced that Brightest Day is on a blacklist, and they're trying to keep our man down. I'm just gonna say that
oppression. That's true oppression right there.
but was there one video? And I'm opening this to the whole panel. I'm just gonna say this: I think Amanda Manethrin is criminally, morally, wrongly undersubscribed to. I love what Mana Manethrin does. He is a true Robert Jordan scholar. He really is. Same thing with OBG 70. Have another drink. Don't worry about it. Just nod and look pretty, Mana Manethrin. It'll be fine. I know. That's why I'm like, just nod and look pretty, Mana Manethrin. Don't worry about it.
I think I've had 4 drams and it's at 60 proof. I'm good.
But I'll put his link in the chat, though. I can do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah. But Max, was there one video where it just was the spark? It was like lighting the Roman candle and you're like, oh, dude, people like what I'm doing. Was there one event that happened for you where that video was like, holy cow, I never expected that to happen?
There were a few that I spoke on, a couple Superman controversies, a couple of DC Comics controversies, that kind of blew up. However, the big thing that kind of got me, I would say 250 subscribers in less than 3 days, was Gary had, it was wild, and I was super grateful. But Gary had mentioned me on a Friday Night Tights stream and brought up my channel. And I was extremely grateful, because I had all that I had done was helped him move. Melissa, Mrs. N, we had met up in Vegas. They're very close to me here in California. I went down to help them move, and then sure enough, that next Friday, I'm seeing my channel on Friday Night Tights. So it was totally surreal, and it was very, very cool to see people saying, you know what, the fact that you're just helping other people here, we're here to support you as well.
Well, I was one of those 250 people, and that's why I subscribed, dude, because I was watching that and I'm like, I mean, because I reached out to Melissa on Twitter, and of course I'd never met Mrs. Nerdrotic, Mrs. Beekler, and I'm like, dude, I'm probably like half an hour or 45 minutes from you. I know you're in Texas. Do you want me to come to your house and do stuff? And it's like, then after I texted her that, or I Twittered her that, I'm like, okay, she has no idea who the hell I am, right? So why would she ever do anything about it? But I wanted to help, because I know carpentry, and I know all that stuff, and it's like you just want to help, and it's like, yet the world is full of weirdos, as we all know. But no, Nerdrotic shouting you out, I was like, that guy seems righteous. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, and I've watched your content since, and here you are, dude, and you have lived up to, you have surpassed any illusions I had about you. And I'm going to give you this. You have a welcome invite to come back to this show whenever you want. I consider you part of the crew, and your good stuff. You're going to blow up and get huge. Let's be really honest about it. But if you ever want to hang out with us, dude, please come and hang out with us, because you're good people,
Thanks, dude. I really do appreciate that. And that was the biggest thing, is that I got the shout out, and then my whole thing was, well, now I want to provide that level of excellence. I want to either provide the creativity, or the, I don't want to call it content, but the entertainment for people that has been alluded to. And so I appreciate you having me on, and giving me an opportunity to talk with you guys, because that's what's so important, is like just hearing different voices and talking with good friends like this, and having beers, because we can't all meet up in the same state. We're all kind of spread out all over the place. And so this is like the best way to to do that. But yeah, it was great to see, you know, people who don't even really read comics still say, you know, I'm not a comic book fan, but I watch your videos and it gives me some more introspective, you know, or it gives or a different perspective, or it gives me something, you know, interesting that I wouldn't have thought of before. So I do appreciate you know, that and the people that have come to the channel for that. So yeah, man, I'm really excited to get this thing off the ground and see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, and it's wild. I mean, I'm going to give you guys some inside baseball. I think we have 70 people in the chat, but this channel, we're just going to reach out to people our size or smaller, because what we're trying to do is build organically. You know, there are a whole lot of very large channels and they have their brand and they're awesome. Like, I love these other people and what they do. But they built their channels organically, and they built it one show at a time, one video at a time. And I think I'm speaking for Mike and for Zax and Madam and Ethrin. You know, we're trying to establish our own credibility by building our own fan base, and it's a grind, but you know, we earn every subscriber and we earn every comment on our videos, and it's a grind, but my God, it has staying power. And that's why I love doing this, and that's why I love the awesome people we've had on our chat tonight. So Mike, what do you think about that? You're kind of a rock star. You are cranking out content like you're on meth. And yeah, talk about your latest video, Mike. I think you did a great Wheel of Time thing yesterday. It was really good.
You put a video
I
up
just
2 minutes ago.
Oh wow.
No, I had something remarked was unlisted from like a year ago that I just put public. They have nothing to do with my channel at all. They're just no, but you know, trying to keep up with the news is not really, has never been my thing. But I do browse Reddit, for example. I do find some Wheel of Time stuff, and I do like to make a little quick video about it, just in case people would rather watch than read. But you know, trying to make your brand, I guess you would say, not putting all your eggs in one basket, I think is a smart thing to do. I have been branching out. I have my Saturday nights are now Sci-Fi Saturday nights. I did Stargate SG-1 this past Saturday. Next Saturday night, I'll be doing Fifth Element. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyone who likes Fifth Element,
I'm on
anyone
that
who
one
likes,
too.
yeah,
Invite
you're
me
all
to that super
invited.
chat, dude.
Yes, you're absolutely, yeah. Anyone, just follow me on Twitter. If the super chat wasn't there, you'd see my name has my Twitter handle in it. It's bitten_8. There you go. If you follow me on Twitter, my DMs are open. DM me and we'll see what we can do something. Also, I've been talking to somebody about this crazy idea of doing anything related to Asian dramas. So, Korean, South Korean, Japanese, Chinese, whatever. Any of those places that were us refugees from the identity politics Western shows that you find. People are going and finding Squid Games. They're finding It's Okay Not to Be Okay, The Lawless Lawyer. There's so many videos that are out there that are really fun, and they're not trying to preach to you. They're just telling a great story. And so I want to start covering it. So I reached out to somebody who's been doing it on YouTube, and we're going to talk on Thursday and see if we can have any chemistry at all, and if we can put something together. So starting, I think, Monday nights, we will be covering an episode or a television show related to that topic.
Yeah.
And then I just keep putting out my fantasy show stuff. I got Legends of the Seeker. I'm doing episode by episode. I have my Conan the Barbarian. I go through that. I'm on part 2. So I part 3 is coming, I think, tomorrow or the next day. And then whenever Corey here wants to get together, I would still like to do a Chronicles of Shannara live stream.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah,
let's do it, dude.
And
dude,
again, I want to make
in a minute.
I want to make it clear that anyone I've ever been live streamed with, and anyone, just DM me. You're in. Like, there's no. Yeah. I can handle 10 people on my stream, so fill it up. Yeah. Let's do it.
I mean, and here's the thing about YouTube. You don't need to blow $1,000. You don't. You can go get a $50 mic. I've got a Yeti, I've got other mics. You know what I'm streaming on tonight is the first one I ever bought because I fine-tuned it and I'm running it through a processor. It's a $50 finite mic. And I think I get the best resolution out of this mic, even better than a Yeti. And my Yeti is hanging over my desk like it needs Viagra. There's no other way to put it.
I have the Yeti, whatever this one is, the XS or whatever the hell you call it. That's the
Yeti pegging model, isn't it?
I have to use it, kind of, guys, because it was a birthday present from my kids.
Oh, cool. See, that's good. Nice. No,
yeah.
Dude.
They're like, Daddy, you need a new mic. Here's your mic. I had the blue snowball, so they go, oh, this is made by whatever that company is that makes these things, blue whatever.
Yeah. No, Mike.
So
Mike is hustling every day. He's hustling. He is working his game. He reached out to me the other day and told me that he had somebody, and I'm not going to mention the names. It's somebody involved in Asian cinema that is legitimate. And I'm going to wait for you to finalize that, dude, because I am going to be 100% following what that is, because that's really, really exciting to me. And again, that's one of those things where how can we who live in capitalist society, North America, who don't look like people in Asia, how can we relate with all these people, these actors and their stories that are so good in Korea? It just boggles my mind based upon what we're being told by major entertainment in complexes. So yeah, I don't know. What about you, Zax? What are you working on? What are you looking on for this week, or what are you looking forward to as we wind down?
I'm working on a bunch of videos right now. The one that I thought I had completed, I have to go back and fix because it's been blocked in the entire world from being released for copyright. So it's
holy cow.
Yeah, it's a Wheel of Time one.
Must have been a Halo review.
No, not yet.
Paramount Plus.
Maybe that's next. Yeah, it's a Wheel of Time video. It's my second part of my review of season 1, or one of the arcs in it.
Oh, dude.
It's not an arc, really. An issue in it.
Dude, if it's unlisted, send me the link. I want to take a look at it.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Inside Baseball.
Hey, Zax, real quick. You mentioned several weeks back that you would like to see me do some sort of a video on me making my videos.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I actually started doing it last night. Now, I don't take one, so I'm going to do again. I'm doing it again and again and again and again until I get it right. But I will put something out at some point that I'll let you know about.
Cool. I do some stuff at Pop Culture Minefield, so that I put their link in the chat as well. I hang out here. I lurk in Max's chat. I check out McKenna because she's nice to look at while I'm there.
I'll tell her you said it.
Yeah.
But toxic masculinity.
Very toxic. Very toxic. Yeah. And so I'm putting together some stuff on my own. I'm good with it. I can take the heat. It's fine.
No, it's funny.
Dude, it's awesome. No, I mean, that's the thing is, like, Kyle and I say it every live stream, we Twitter each other like 14-year-old girls all day long. And I was actually in bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. He's like, dude, have you seen this thing? And I'm like, I'm asleep, dude. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, but that's fandom. And when you find that, like, we're all a little older, we're all on our path to whatever it is. But when you find cool people and that are authentic, and that's a very exceptional commodity to find these days, is authentic, good people and people who keep their word, you just grab onto them with both hands and you're like, dude, I will ride into hell with you, and I feel so fortunate to have people like Zax, Kyle, OBG70, Amanda Manethrin, even though he is shit-faced in his garage. I really love having these guys on my stream. And like I said, Max, dude, you're cool stuff, man. And anytime, come back and hang out. I'm going to include Brightest Day on that. I really am, even though he's playing hard to get. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get in that. It's gonna be good when it happens. So
not creepy at all.
No. Dude, no. But
get in that Brightest Day,
yeah, we're gonna light up BSG, man. We're gonna make a musical out of it. So, but no, I mean, it's just, man, with everything weird going on in the world, we got to have some laughs to make fun of ourselves because, dude, no, we are the only people who are going to bring the light, and I want more people who are in our chat and in the streams to buy that $40 mic off Amazon and just take a chance, because you'd be surprised. Just use your voice and you will be heard. And people, I will shout you out, Max will shout you out, Zax will shout you out. And that's how we change things, is we just like those people who are driving 18-wheelers in Canada.
Yes.
That's how we
Hong
change
Kong.
things. Hong Kong.
There was a oh, go ahead,
Go ahead,
brother.
Max. No, Max, brother, it's all you. Go ahead.
Just real quick, I remember seeing a live show of a comedian, and I don't know if you guys know Steven Crowder's show, Louder with Crowder, but the comedian who is on there, he came to Irvine and here in California, like Orange County, and I went out and saw the show. And one of the best lines that he had the entire show was that comedy is the best way to shine light in a place of darkness.
Absolutely.
And I met him after the show and everything. And I said, hey, I'm a Marine and I love your stuff. And all my Marine friends love your stuff. And he was like, Marines have some of the most effed up humor I've ever met, but they're some of the most fun people ever. And I agree, and it takes a very specific kind of mental, retardation that happens when you're in these death-defying circumstances that you laugh at. You know what I mean? And not to say that we are
He's
in
one
death.
of the funniest guys I've ever listened to.
Oh, I could not agree with you more, dude. Some of the stuff that he says makes me belly laugh. There are a few things that make me belly laugh, like really chuckle. And Dave Landau, for those who don't know who we're talking about, but Dave Landau is one of the greats. And he was a pleasure to speak with, because he really is someone who's using doing what we're doing and laughing and joking, but also calling out a lot of this stuff. And I think that's extremely important. Though we kind of, things look bleak, and though we tend to see death-defying situations here with some of our most favorite and beloved characters, we are, to quote Dave, I think it's important for us to be that light in the darkness, like you were saying.
Roger that.
Salty.
Roger that.
I think it's important. Yeah.
No, 10-4. And here's the crazy thing. I started doing genealogy, and Zax is going to yell at me for this, but I started doing genealogy for my family. And my great uncle was one of the few Marines that made it off of Bataan. And dude, he was 180 pounds when we went in the Corps. When they got him off Bataan, he was about 100. And I think about that, and what we're living through now, it's an inconvenience and it's annoying. And if we really wanted to fix it, this would be over in about 20 minutes. just gonna say that. And I think about that, man. Like, there are people who have gone through so much more. They really have. And what we just need to do is keep the faith and remember that our forefathers and foremothers had to fight real adversity tooth and nail with other implements as well. That's all I'll say. And I have a lot more confidence in where things are going, especially in the last 30 days. And I used to work in Canada. I spent a lot of time in Ontario, and to see what's going on in Canada, knowing a lot of Canadian people the way that I do, for them to be doing what they're doing is an inspiration. And I will just shout them out. I just want to say that it is an inspiration of the world, and you're starting to see the influence of that organically without globalist funding occurring in Australia, in New Zealand, and here in the United States too. So I don't get political on the show, but I am always on the side of liberty. 100% freedom and individual choice. So hail to everyone, regardless of where you are. Just hail to everyone, and hail to everyone in the chat.
Oh, look at that. That's an epic flag right there.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
You know what I thought that was? I thought it was the strung together dot matrix printer bandits I used to make.
That's why I love Nathan, man. Nathan is old school. He's getting
I'm like, did he just print
garage. Shit-faced in his garage, and he's got Revolutionary War flags. One of the first things I did when I moved to Texas was I dug a hole, mixed some concrete, sunk my new flagpole, ran the Stars and Stripes up, and ran the flag of Texas up. And I have met all of my neighbors because I got Old Glory flying and the flag of Texas flying. And if I had any more grommets on my flagpole, I might have something that says "Come and take it" on it. That's all I'll say about that. But you guys, this has been a fan-damn-tastic stream, despite Alex Kurtzman and Paramount coming to take us out, and we persevered. I haven't looked at the chat count lately. I love when I can make Zach's laugh. We got 15 people still in the chat. I mean, a mad shout out to TRW
rising from the ashes. We were tonight.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, I mean, and I'm going to shout out TRW 1974. That was one of the first commenters I had on my channel. Same thing with Punk Waddle, who has been modding tonight. Man Exome 75. First time I'm seeing you in the chat, but damn, you are welcome. Brahma Bull says, "Hail, Brahma Bull. I've seen you around. I want to see you again next week. You come and hang out, and you come and you challenge us. That's what this is all about." The Thad that shouldn't be has been hanging with us this whole time, despite Paramount Plus coming and trying to snip our nether regions. It's so good to have you on the stream. And of course, Xenomorph, we have passed each other many times. Flaccid Phoenix, hail to you and hail to the chat. So yeah, do you guys want to shout anybody out that's been hanging out tonight? Anyone that you know or that we should subscribe to that maybe we don't know? Max,
I've been filling up the chat with links all night. So, but Xenomorph,
dude, yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Outstanding. Yeah. So many names that I've seen
It's
before.
like Romper Room. You guys know Romper Room? Magic Mirror, tell me today, did my friends have fun at play? I saw Miss Martin Muses. She was here earlier. Go subscribe to her.
She's awesome. She's awesome.
Joey swings by and says hi.
I want to get on the stream with her and light it up because she always has Stieg on there. And Stieg actually, Max was reading the Savage Sword of Conan too, and he just posted on Twitter how much he loved it. So dude, there's a bunch of us and we're all chilling, but we're not all necessarily connected. And could you imagine a monster stream where we talk about Conan? I want Mike, Mike or Max.
Yeah, let me share something with you really quick.
Mike loves doing this, Max.
No. This is it's not a big deal. This is a story. Story time.
All right.
Conan the Barbarian comes out in 1982. I wasn't sure I liked it, but I thought it was kind of neat. The world was kind of neat, so I thought I'll check it out. So I went to my high school library. This was in 1987. I think I was in 11th grade. Maybe it was 88.
Right on.
Went to the library. Did not want to check out the book. I just wanted to read it in the library during lunch. However, it ended up in my backpack somehow.
Oh. Is that what you told the cops? Okay.
Still has a library card in there.
Oh, library card.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Dude, I'm pretty sure it's a felony by now in California.
Is that the Robert E. Howard novel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so real quick,
in late fees,
dude. Go for it, Max. Max, talk this stuff. You were gonna make.
I don't know if you can read that or
Mike
not. My
cry.
camera's not.
Oh, it's beautiful.
There's Robert E. Howard and L. Sprague de Camp and Lynn Carter.
Dude,
because they all write. Because Robert E. Howard, he only wrote like a couple of the stories, and then they fill them all in. And
well,
but the thing is, on the back, is I could check these boxes and order more Conan books.
That is cool. I love.
Could you imagine if you could still get them?
Pages.
That would be amazing.
Send it in and see if the PO box still works.
And I'll show Max my big box of Savage Sword.
Oh, please do, man. Yeah.
No, you, Max. Seriously, Mike is our resident Conan dude.
I don't have as many as Gary from Nerdrotic has, but there's all my Savage Swords.
Dude, he's for real. He's for real. Yeah.
See,
Mike's love of Conan is genuine. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Hell yeah, look at that. So there was the most, in my opinion, the most beautiful rendition of Conan was when he wasn't even assigned to Marvel or any publisher. He was just being published in a magazine, and that was, I believe, Savage Sword. I forget what his first appearance was, but what they're doing now is that's amazing, dude. That looks beautiful.
And then here is the number 1.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nice.
god!
Wait, let's see the cover. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
That is beautiful.
wow.
That's the one I know. Yep.
Oh,
Those look great.
keep going, Max. Keep going, Max.
So currently what they've been doing is they've been recycling the Robert E. Howard storyline from the novels, and they've been putting it into comic renditions. They've been calling it the Sumerian because technically Marvel owns the title of Conan, or Savage Sword of Conan, or whatever Conan property. So they've been calling it the Sumerian. And for anyone who has seen my channel or talked to me on a live stream, you guys will know that Sumerian is one of the modern books that I will promote because it's by Ablaze Comics, which is a different publisher. It's not part of the big two. And it is nudity. It's toxic masculinity. It's violence. It's gore. It's
a magazine form. It's magazine format, not comic book format, right?
It is actually comic book format. However, in the back, it includes the novelization from Robert E. Howard. So,
oh my god!
Yeah,
my understanding originally was that the regular comic books, there was censorship on that size. But if you made the magazine format, the magazines had different level of censorship. So you can get away with more, which is why you had the Savage Sword of Conan magazines.
I think initially, absolutely, you're 100% correct.
Okay.
And then I think once the Comic Authority or Comic Code Authority came out, as long as it was approved and it had that stamp, you could publish it in this comic-sized form instead of the magazine form. Now, I'm not an expert on that, and I won't claim to be, but that is just what I've found. So because the Sumerian
if it
books
has nudity, then they did that.
Because the Sumerian that I'm reading from Ablaze, you get all that good stuff, and it is in that comic book format. You can put it in a bag and board.
All right, so now I have to buy some shit on eBay.
You guys are, I know, I'm like, dude, I've been on eBay this whole time. That's why I've been quiet. I'm like, I'm totally taking Max's.
Well, nobody bid against me, please. Sumerian Beyond the Black River, number 1, cover A, Ablaze Comics. Okay,
that's the one. And there are plenty of different stories. There's the most recent one I think was there's a one about like a Frost Queen or something. That's a really great one as well. But they were all 2019, 2020 up until now as well. So yeah, they just kind of take the Robert E. Howard novelizations, put them into comic book format. You get a 3-issue little series, and then they go on to the next story, and they're just pumping them out. And each cover is
how many are there? Do you know?
I don't, unfortunately, not off the top of my head. Okay. But there are a good amount. If you look it up, if you look at Ablaze's website, they should have each. It'll be the Sumerian and then the subtitle of whatever.
Yeah, the Queen of the Black Coast, number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, the Queen of the Black Coast is awesome.
Beautiful.
That's elite.
Yeah.
So that's how I found Robert Jordan, by the way.
I want to buy it all. Yeah, Mike, tell your story.
Okay.
Yeah,
and here's the thing, Max, you are busy. I get that. But Mike's story about Robert Jordan, who you already know wrote some really great stuff for Conan. Robert Jordan wrote The Wheel of Time. So, Mike, go ahead and talk about it.
Well, you just told my story for me.
No, I didn't. Shut up and tell your story.
No, reading Conan books like this, there's so many stories, and different authors will write a different Conan book, and Robert Jordan was one of them. And it just so happened that I found that his books were better than everybody else's. So I had gone into the bookstore one day and said I would like a Robert Jordan Conan book, and was told he doesn't write them anymore because he started writing this other series, Wheel of Time. And we just got this yesterday, The Eye of the World. And that's what I said, well, I don't know this. I don't think I'm going to like this. I don't know. But then I loved it. And when I met him at a book signing for Dragon Reborn, third book, I said, "Are you going to give up on this and go back to Conan, please? Because I'm really missing your Conan books." And he said, "Oh," he laughed, of course, because I'm funny. And he said, I'm going to get back to that someday. I really enjoyed writing them." So I was like, okay, well, that didn't happen. But yeah, Robert Jordan is, and I think he came up with the name Robert Jordan because his name's James Oliver Rigney Jr.
Yeah.
I think he liked that Robert Howard had two first names, Robert Howard. And I think being a person, and there's so much Conan in Wheel of Time, so much inspiration. The whole idea of prehistory, of like the idea that there was a whole civilization before our civilization and all that all came from Robert E. Howard. So I think he kind of got some inspiration for changing his name to Robert Jordan from the idea of Robert Howard. But I can't.
Mike's more
swear to it.
Mike is more than a pretty face. Just to let you know, just to tell you that. So we're gonna wrap up with this super chat, and we're gonna go around the horn. I have run through 2 sets of Bluetooth earbuds, but this has been so much damn fun. So this is a $5 super chat from Taker610. Again, another cat that has been here from the very beginning. Especially before I got monetized, was commenting on my videos. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. $5 says, "Is last week's Boba Fett the only show the only show to ever have an episode not feature the series namesake? Boba's own show is sick of his lameness. Panel, discuss. You guys discuss on this one."
It was the best episode all season. Bar none.
That's so sad.
Dude,
not even close.
I was watching other people's videos on this, and I'm like, why did they have the Naboo like super royal ship like with Jawas? I was just like, I was like, what? It's a bounty hunter. Shouldn't you have a ship like that looks more like a van? Where you'd be doing cargo. I don't know. Max, do you have any opinions on Boba Fett's, or are you?
They're going to do a scene for sure with Grogu in that little R2 dome. That's the only reason they have that ship.
That's the only reason, dude. That's the only reason. It's going
to happen. Sorry. Go, Max.
I will say, I think the best summation that I can come up with is just that Disney has created something cooler than Boba Fett with Mandalorian. And so now they're in this predicament of how do we not make Boba Fett cooler than what we have created in The Mandalorian? And
don't make Boba Fett a relatable bad guy. Make Boba Fett a badass evil dude. That's my suggestion.
They have demasculated him, completely taken any agency away from him, and it's only because they want to make sure that people know that Mandalorian is cooler than Boba Fett, that their creation is cooler than the old creation. And that is my summation of it. And that's what's really sad to see, unfortunately.
He's a confused old man.
Yeah.
It's not Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I have something for Stig if you want to share my screen really quick. He'll like this.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Or no, it's Brightest Day that's doing this. Brightest Day. He'll like this.
Oh, this cover, dude.
Oh, whoa. Zoom in.
Hello.
Okay. Can I?
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, Mike. Zoom in.
I can't go any further because of the way the restream works.
Okay.
You have to make it like that full screen or something.
All right. So is that available on eBay or where do I get that from?
I already bought it.
Okay. I'm
buying all of them. I'm going to be broke by the end of the day now. Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, so Max, are you big into the Savage sort of Conan, different Conans? You talked about the Blazer, if I remember right, but do you know what Mike just had on screen?
Yes. Now, sorry, one sec.
That's okay, dude. I get it, dude. You're hopping, dude, because you're legit, and we'll cover for you. And we'll
Jesus Christ!
So,
what do you got there? Oh yeah!
Whoa! Put it up closer. Mike needs to. Mike's getting emotionally erect on that one.
No, I got something else. But yeah, that's.
Oh, dude!
Yeah,
I'm totally getting that book. Oh my god! Brightest Day, are you still in the chat, dude?
They're
That
so
is
beautiful, dude.
amazing. Look at the artwork.
You have this one
Oh my
because this is
God.
next on my list. Grab that one up there.
I'm
Somebody's
on it. I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it.
Ooh,
Oh my God.
I don't have that one, but I got this one, man. You might like that one too.
Oh, hold on,
That
hold
one's
on.
beautiful as well.
Dude, this is next level
Yeah.
stuff. Right
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I did not even know this exists. I should turn in I have to turn this in. Okay, everybody.
I'm gonna. Oh, jeez.
I have no right to even be interested in Conan now after not knowing about the existence of this. I mean, seriously, what the living? Oh man,
dude, these are.
I gotta buy all this. I wish the shipping wasn't so much though.
Yeah, unfortunately, the shipping on these is unfortunate, but yeah.
Believe me.
For me, I think it's worth it just because I'm afraid of what's going to happen with digital media.
100%.
Yep.
And
100%.
I would prefer to have these, because to me, I consider them original art pieces, and though they're not the original art, I figure, a couple decades down the line, people are going to be looking at these Robert E. Howard novels, like the one that you have, brother, the one that from your library, and like people are going to look at that and go like, this should be in a museum. And so
legit.
So that in the school library.
Yeah, right. So for me, yeah, like, dude, these are all Man-Eaters of Zambula, Beyond the Black River, People of the Black Circle, The Frost Giant's Daughter. All these are all Sumerian, and they're all really well done. So if you guys do want to look into some Conan stuff that's not censored, that's the one. So
I just like high quality art.
Yep.
That's the thing.
You'll get it for sure.
Yeah.
And the redhead part doesn't hurt. Let's be honest. I mean, if
not at
Brightest Day has taught me anything.
Nope. Right.
Yeah.
Redheads are either 5s or 10s.
There's no in between.
What did you say, Zach or Nathan? Who was that?
That was me.
Zach's-
I married a ginger. She goes all the way to 11.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
like, I'm a big supporter of oh God, I just blanked out at Neon and Geeky Sparkles.
Confish.
Oh yeah.
Clownfish TV. I bought their original pressing of their Steve the Bubblefish, but every time Geeky Sparkle loses her mind, it's kind of cool. I'm just gonna say that when she starts talking about My Little Pony and defending My Little Pony, I'm like, you go girl, So well, we should probably start wrapping up. Dudes, we have been going a hell of a long time. I could go a lot longer. This has been a blast, and we have overcome adversity. We are resilience embodied. I want to first start out by thanking Max Von Priestley. Dude, this was awesome. This was easy. Like I said, dude, you're welcome here anytime. You get bored, you're bored on a Tuesday, you have a standing invitation to join this live stream. This has been a hell of a good time. Shout out your channel, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can't thank you enough, man. Like you said, you mentioned easy. This really was just so easy to reach out. You reached out to me on Twitter. I checked out a couple of your videos and I said, oh my God, absolutely.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you.
No, for sure, man. And it was just like, why not come on and talk to, like I said earlier, like-minded people. So yeah, this has been extremely like fun. Like I haven't laughed in a while like that. So which has been great. And I've learned a lot too. Like you guys, when we say y'all are some of the resident experts on some of this stuff, I now go away with some notes and some, for some of us, some eBay purchases. You never know.
Hell yeah, dude. Me too. Me too.
Yep. So
I can hear my wife right now going, seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously? She gets all the PayPal things.
Every time.
Dude,
I understand now.
I gave you $20 on Saturday for your Stargate live stream.
That paid for one really random variant of the Sumerian.
Don't look at dude. Don't leave, dude. It's $20. Come on. All right, Max, keep going.
Yeah, sorry, Max.
Dude. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, of course. And you guys can find me at MVP Maxfield Von Priestley. I do
Right
anything
on.
from comic book reviews to just anything pop culture, and I try and add some sort of spin on it that is my own personal experience, a logical explanation of kind of what's going on in the comic book community, and also just some sort of a positive spin on things. I will say, because we mentioned it earlier, and I wanted to bring it up one more time. If you are a channel that's just starting out, or if you're a channel that has been just fucking grinding for the, hey, thank you, Flaccid, for the past few months, years, whatever. For me, the thing that I have found is that builds that fan base, because I have seen people who grow in a day and they don't have fans. They have people who watch the show. They have people who will come back every now and then, but they are not fans, and that's not what we're here to be about. We are fans ourselves, and we want fans
100%,
in the community and whatnot, or in the fellowship. So if you don't grow like that one day or 1 week that you get that exponential growth, don't worry, because you are growing that fan base, and that's the most important thing for the channel. But not all that to say, I have had my days where I'm like, man, this sucks. It is tough.
Yeah, dude.
So
wait, you just got one more. I just grabbed you. So
okay, thanks, dude. And I actually did yours as well. So thank you.
Awesome.
I grabbed the both of you guys. Wait, where am I pointing? I'm drunk. No, I'm kidding. Both of you guys over here.
Superman stick. Sorry. No.
Yeah, exactly. Right. and yeah. So yeah, that's all I'll say, and I'll kind of leave on that. But I look forward to coming back here one of these Tuesday nights, hopefully soon.
Dude, that's awesome.
Because I'd love to hear more from you guys. And
almost Wednesday morning.
Yeah, right.
I know.
For some of us, it's definitely Wednesday morning. So.
Oh, dude. Did my clock break? No, it's 11:15 Central Time. I don't know what you guys on the West Coast are complaining about. You have Gavin Newsom, so put it in perspective. That's all I'm gonna say. No, Max, dude, try Jay Inslee. That's why I sold my house and moved elsewhere. This has been really fun. It's meant, Max. This has been a great show. Thank you so much for spending so much time with us.
Yes.
And thank you for probably alleviating my bank account of potentially $300 for those Conan comic books. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to hide that purchase from my significant other, who's probably in bed by now. So, oh my God, this has been great. You guys, Paramount Plus can, I'm not going to say that, can have a great evening. Mana Manethrin, are you embalmed in your garage, sir, or are you able to form cogent sentences? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's going to be real easy to get to sleep tonight. As soon as my body warms up, even though I've got my little space heater underneath here,
dude,
I'm doing all right.
No, Amanda Manethrin produces some really exceptional quality Wheel of Time content. He and I met up earlier this week and tried to do some stuff on Restream, which was acting up. But Amanda Manethrin, if you want to know some of the deeper lore about Robert Jordan Wheel of Time, this is your guy. He really, really is solid. Not to take away from Zach's or from OBG70. Amanda Manethrin, love this guy, along with Prophet of the Dragon, who we had on last week. So shout out your channel, brother. Talk about what you got coming.
Sure. A Man of Manethrin, just search that up and take a look. I've
in the chat.
Just starting the channel, really. So I've got like 6 or 7 videos up. I got one coming out tomorrow, actually discussing that Reddit post that we discussed earlier.
Yeah, we need to cover that next week. Yeah.
And so, and I've got some other things. I'm debating about whether or not I really want to go through that show again. I think I've got to look at it as a comedy.
You do have a support group here,
that I can break down.
Dude, you have my cell number. You can text me anytime and cry, and we can talk.
He has your cell number?
He does have my cell number because he's really pretty. Look at him. He's a really pretty man. So
I'm coming for you.
Sorry, Nathan. Keep going. Talk about your video.
Did that freeze on me?
Yeah,
it did. But we got your audio. So go ahead and yeah.
It wasn't me.
Oh, okay. It wasn't me.
No, so you can find Nathan Amanamanethran. He puts out great quality, in-depth videos on Wheel of Time and other things. He is a really great contributor to the show. Really good guy, and he really likes whiskey. So give him a sub. So Nathan, thanks for showing up tonight.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Zach. Shout out your channel. This is my wingman. He's a solid dude. He's a moderator to a ton of YouTube channels. I have so much respect, and I don't say that lightly. Zach's, you have helped me in more ways than anyone will ever know. Thank you so much.
Please don't tell them.
Shout out your channel. No, I'm not gonna. I'm just making it up. I'm full of shit.
My link's in the chat now. If you can follow me on Twitter as well at KF204. I'm also a mod on Max's channel. I spent some time over there.
Yep.
I do videos on Pop Culture Minefield. I'm everywhere. And I still have a day job. So look at that.
Yeah, me too. Hail to you, Kyle. Hail to Zach. Go check out his videos. Give him a sub. Mike, OBG70, the man who never makes any content. Shout out your channel.
He's muted.
Yeah, after you unmute yourself, Mike,
God
shout out your
damn it.
channel.
Yeah,
That's all right.
I thought I was first. So I did this whole thing about all the stuff I was doing, and yeah. So OBG70 on YouTube, you can see there Bitten_8 on Twitter. I'm OBG70 on Getter, and there's my email address. It's my spam email address, so feel free to send me whatever the hell you want. But if you'd like to get in touch with me, I will read it occasionally. With that, I'll really have to say it. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Chat's always awesome.
That's
Max,
amazing.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure. Glad to meet you. Nathan, as always, the guy, he's an encyclopedia. He knows everything Wheel of Time. I know the general scope. He knows the nitty-gritty details. He knows I didn't even know how to pronounce Manethran until I met him. So that's the difference there. And Zach's, he's not joking. He's like a Hydra. His head is in every cave. He knows all the things that's happening. He's in every chat.
That's what she said.
He's on every live stream.
I again, it is.
Do I have the
alcohol
appropriate?
No, I mean, again, every night, you guys. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Why are you doing that? Oh, Mike, it was so great to live stream with you. I wish you luck on your own. Doing your own thing. No, this dude, every stream we show up, we never know what the hell's going to happen. And Paramount Plus, double down on that tonight. I want to thank Maxfield Von Priestley for hanging with us through the weirdness. Of course, Amanda Manethran for not freezing to death or succumbing to alcoholism in his garage. Zach's, you are an outstanding moderator and a good friend. And Mike, thank you for putting up with me. We don't always agree, but my God, it is a good thing to have oil and water sometimes. And hail to you in the chat. Thank you for everyone who followed us through this weird maze that happened tonight. It was a blast, and I am so glad we restarted the stream. I just want to shout out my own channel. I am Salty Texas C. This is Corey DB. I am at 1,350 subscribers as of the start of the show. And I want to do a special shout out to Toxic Man Flu, who became my wolf brother tonight. You all have a really great week. Again, this show is nothing without our chat, without the comments, without the people who subscribe, without the people who even call me an asshole. I really appreciate your input, but you all have a really fun, awesome, and free rest of the week in 2022. I'm going to play our outro, and you all take care.